Alright, cool. I am now recording. And let's manage my screens over here. This one over here. That one over there. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You rolled up your stats, and most of that's on the sheet. It's got a nice flow chart for you. For the rest of the material, you have to kind of refer to the actual player's survival guide, which you have the PDF if you want to look in the future at that. But I'll
Okay.
help you through this.
Alright, cool, cool,
So
cool.
first, we got to roll your loadout. So what you do
Okay.
is you roll 1d10, and that's going to give you a set of equipment that you start out with. You're what, a scientist?
Roll 1d10. Give me. I hope it's not like a drill or something. It's a
Uh,
5.
I mean, it's range. It's not. It's like a one is bad and 10 is good. It's just a range of things.
Oh, I see.
So for
Okay.
scientist loadout number 5, you start with a lab coat, which is armor of 1.
Lab
You
code armor 1.
or AP1 is the way they write it down. So your armor points are 1.
AP1.
Uh, Meaning that anything that shoots you gets to reduce the damage going through your armor. Which
Okay.
I don't know how to break it to you. Lab coat, not very good armor.
Hey, it's better than not lab coat, so. I imagine a
You also
scientist that
have
rolls something else and shows up in like t-shirts and Bermuda. So
you also have a cybernetics, or let me read how this is. Cybernetic diagnostic scanner.
cybernetic diagnostic scanner. I have seen that in the movies. Is great
This
for
is
plot
a
devices.
portable unit, and it is allowed to scan androids and cybernetic organisms in an ability to diagnose any physical or mental issues that they are having. So, androids
Organisms.
often distrust this, but you are able to roll out in the field. And since you are taking AI and computer and hacking,
Yeah,
this is an easy way for you to interact with computers that you
that's
come across.
perfect. Jarvis, give me plot device. Beep boop beep boop beep.
Yes. Last but not least, you have a portable computer terminal.
Of course I do. I
And
wouldn't go without a laptop. Portable computer terminal.
the write up on that reads that there's flat computer monitor, keyboard, and interface, which allows you to user to hack into pre-existing computers and networks, as well able to perform standard computer tasks.
Monitor keyboard. Runs Doom, etc. Cool.
Yes. So now you have two flavor items, which you're going to have to. These are entirely a sort of flavor option, which is going to be up to you to explain why your character has these. And
Okay.
you will be rolling a D100, which will be a 0 through 99 roll.
All right. D100. Here we go. 17.
17. You have
Dancing
a
Queen.
lagomorph foot.
Lagomorph foot.
Lagomorph. Oh, it's a rabbit's foot.
Lagomorph foot. Okay.
Lagomorph, the Latin word for rabbit.
Okay. What does it do?
You have a rabbit's foot. You have a lucky rabbit's foot.
Oh,
You
it's
have to
just
figure
like a
out.
sentimental item. Okay.
Yep, these are trinkets. Some of them are
Sentimental.
bizarre. Some of them are hilarious. Some of them are raunchy. And you just kind of like you have to think how your scientist got a lucky rabbit or a rabbit.
uh,
It's a lagomorph foot, so who knows if it's a lucky rabbit's foot or just a collected specimen. But
okay. It was
that's your
given to
call.
me by my drill sergeant because I have military training.
Okay.
So at the end of it, he said, "Take this, son, because you're gonna need luck out there." And I didn't
All
know if
right.
to take it as a compliment or as a insult, but I took it anyway.
I'll give you one more D100 roll, and this is going to give you a patch.
Gift from drill sergeant. Okay, so 100D roll says 40. 40.
Let's see. What does C for 40 is?
I wonder if I
So
could
on your
share.
lab coat or your uniform that you wear around, you have a skull and crossed wrenches.
A what? A what?
Skull and crossed wrenches. I'm hearing my voice
Skull.
echo on your head.
Oh crap. Hold on. Stop
Yeah,
streaming. Stream settings. Share audio. Don't share audio. Change Windows. Stop streaming. All right. How about now? Do you hear your voice now?
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, we're clear.
You're good. The problem is that I don't see your camera anymore, which is unfortunate. Um, hmm. But you see mine. It's a
I
trade-off.
see yours. I see
Oh,
your
I know what to
desktop.
do. I know what to do. Hold on. I know exactly what to do. Uh, I'm going to share not a screen. I'm going to share an application, and
Yeah.
that application is the PDF, like so. Okay. So now you can see my
Woo.
PDF, right?
Yep.
It
Good
would
times.
be perfect if only I could see your face instead of mine.
That's okay.
God, there's gotta be a setting for that. And there is. And there is. Okay. Now back to broken pillars. Pillars. Now, Discord. You go here. No, there. And you go there. And you go there. There we go. There we go. All right, it's recording, and I think it's pretty good the way it's working because I can see you, you can see me, you can see my sheet. We
Yep.
both can see Discord, so I love it. All right, so I have a scroll and cross what
So you have a patch on your lab coat, which
patch?
is a skull, but
Yeah,
instead of crossed bones, it's
yeah.
wrenches.
Cross wrenches. That is the name of the military unit that they trained me on. It was the Imperial Engineers or whatever they're called.
Combat engineers.
Yeah, combat engineers. Yeah, we were trained
Okay.
to show up in a place where everybody's breaking things and put them back together. That's our motto.
All right. So if you're able to grab the PDF that I sent through, the player's guide, there is
Uh,
a list.
can do. Have it.
All right. So I'm going to try to find the page here, but at the end of this, you also get a starting amount of money.
At the end
And
of this, for money. Okay.
yeah,
You
on
could
the character sheet, where is it? It
wait a second.
says,
Tomorrow, actually, tomorrow. Okay.
oh, there it goes.
Money.
So you roll 2d10, add them together,
All right. Roll to the 10 at 12.
and you times that by 10, so that's 120. You start out with
120.
120 credits.
They don't pay well in the military. You know,
Now,
that's how it works. Cool.
so if you go in the PDF to what is marked as page 17, which I think physically is page 20 in the PDF,
I'm
you
there.
will find an equipment list, and it has cost, which is in credits. And so you have 120 credits to spend if you want to get any specific items for your character.
Okay. All right. Give me 10 seconds. I like the body cam. I wish there was a weapon here. There are no guns in space.
Oh, if you look at the previous two pages, it explains the armors, and if you look at the two pages before that, it shows a bunch of different weapons.
Oh, so later on I get a weapon. I don't have to worry about weapons for now.
You don't start with a weapon in your kit as a scientist, or at least
Of
your
course.
role did not get one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
I'm trying to see what the cost would be for weapons in case you have that question.
There is a crowbar which could be used as a weapon. Uh-huh. Uh, Now I already have the bioscanner. Oh, I cannot afford the bioscanner. Automed. I cannot afford the automed. Could get the crowbar. Go Half-Life on them. First aid kit. I'm $5 short. Am I?
Of
50
what?
plus 75. Yeah, for the first aid kit and the body cam. Flashlight.
If you want to grab both of them, I'll let it go.
Yeah, let it go.
I'll let you
It
get a
was on
discount.
discount, right? Now, all
Yeah,
right, hold on,
yeah,
hold
I'll
on.
give it to you.
Heads-up display, often worn by Marines. HUD allows the wearer to see through the body cams of others in their unit and tap into their gun's SmartLink capabilities. It also communicates fear in a beautiful way, as shown by aliens too. Meals ready to eat. Self-contained individual field rations. For 1 day. Damn. Oxygen tank. 12 hours of oxygen. Alright, I'm gonna assume that the place where they're sending me surely has the basic things to live. So I'm gonna splurge on. Am I gonna be with other people? Do I know anything about where I'm going when I'm shopping?
You know, so starting out cold here because we're gonna do an introduction when we're all set up. You will be sent to a remote planet. You'll be provided enough equipment and assistance to go in safely, and your job will be to try to figure out what went wrong and report back about it.
Okay.
And after this, we're going to roll up three characters because there's three more classes, and those are going to be your sidekicks.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm gonna go with the infrared goggles.
Okay.
Allows the wearer to see heat signatures, sometimes several hours old. So that sounds good. Infrared goggles. Infrared
Probably smart.
goggles. And for the last 20 bucks that I got left, is there anything worth 20 bucks in here? Jesus, could buy two flashlights. uh,
Never know.
two flashlights. I could wield the flashlight. So how much is the crowbar? The crowbar is 25. Let's say that I got it on a discount. You know, it was like a dollar store
I'll give
crowbar
that. Yeah.
for
You
25.
want
All right,
infrared
perfect. Let's do
goggles
that.
and a crowbar?
Yeah, infrared
I'll give that
goggles and
to
a
you.
crowbar. There you go. Yeah, I just got a deal. Oh, it won't let me type anymore. Let me make room
Oh.
for it. Let me make room for it. I just deleted something. Crowbar. HL2. Yeah. All right, cool. Cool. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. What else? What else? What do we do?
All right. I think that's it. You should be clean with the character. That's all there is to making a character.
All right,
If you look
nothing
at the top,
conditions, skill training, anything cool.
no, yeah, all that's settled. High score is the number of game sessions that your character has lived.
That's
So as you play
encouraging.
along, it goes up, and then eventually the character dies and goes to zero. So we'll hopefully not worry about that for now.
All right.
Um, we'll want to make three more characters. So we're gonna do the same process that you just did.
Okay.
It should be a lot faster now that you know how it goes, and you'll pick one of the other three classes.
Okay, and these are my teammates, right? Like they came with me. I'm like, we're
Hmm.
building a team.
And you were interested in the scientists, where we're going to have them be your main protagonist. And if we have other players that come into the game, I'm going to swap out these random teammates that you're making right now
All
for
right.
the other players.
All right, sounds good. So
Okay.
I was sent in here. Well, let's roll. Let's see what he's good for. So 2d10s. So let's start with the stats, and then I'll work backwards. So
Okay.
roll 2d10, and I'm gonna do this 4 times. So here we go. We got a 9. We got a 10. We got an 18. And we got a 15. So he's really good at two things, and he's really bad at the others. He's a marine. He's a killer. He's a killing machine. He's 25 plus 18. 25 plus 18. He's 43 in combat.
43.
Right? So the 18 is burned. And then the other thing he's good at is his strength. Strong. So he is 15 plus 25 is 40. And now I want to use the 10 and the 9. So 10 plus 25 is 35. That's his speed. And 25 plus 9 is 34. That's his intellect. Now 2d10 plus 10 for each save. Okay, here we go with the 2d10s. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. So 12 plus 10. He's gonna protect his body because he be a marine. Then he's gonna protect his fear because he's strong. But he's gonna go crazy really easy. Maybe already is. So 10 is a 19. There we go. It's min max. So this guy is a
All right.
marine. Alright, it's a marine. He has plus 10 on combat. That becomes 53. He has plus 10 body save. That becomes 42. Plus 20 fear save. Alright. Fearless. 1 max wounds. I don't know where
Yep.
to.
So down under
I'm
stress,
just gonna
or
put it over here for now.
sorry, down under health, instead of starting at 2, you start at a minimum of 3 wounds.
Okay. Uh,
Or
Alright.
sorry,
You
maximum of 3 wounds.
walk me through that later. Cool. Roll 1d10 plus 10 for health. Okay, 1d10.
Hmm?
1d10. 4. Alright, 9. Alright, good job. He is 9 out of 9. Stress, he
19, not
starts
bad.
at 2.
So
Cool.
that means under health he has maximum 19, and he has a maximum of 3 wounds.
Oh, that's right.
Stress starts at 2.
There we go. Stress at 2. Right, you can see my sheet, right? Alright.
Yep.
Marine military training. Yeah, we came from the same academy. We're buddies. Athletics. Athletics. Is that? Oh, it is a thing. Excellent.
To read his
Bonus.
trauma response, if you ever actually panic, then everyone else around you has to start making fear saves.
Yeah, of course. Because if they see the guy. All right.
They see the soldier freak out, it's all over.
So he shoots people. That's what Marines do, right? So I'm
Mhm.
gonna put a dot in firearms. Cool.
Mhm.
All right. Roll for your equipment loadout and patch. So he's a D10 at first, right?
Yep, so the first one's a D10, you're a Marine.
All right. It says 8.
8. All right, 8 gives you a dress uniform, which is an armor point of 1.
Dress uniform, AP1, just like my lab. My lab
Yep.
coat.
However, you also get a revolver with 1 round
Don't
and
splurge now on the military.
a challenge coin.
Challenge. What is a challenge coin?
What do you think that means?
I have
What does a
no.
Marine have with a challenge coin?
I don't know. Like he goes heads, you die. Tails, I kill you.
Well, I always think of it. So first of all, I always think back to like AA, and you get coins if you go so many days without drinking. But in military culture, if a Marine gives you a challenged coin, traditionally they might be given to prove membership when asked and to enhance morale. They also collected by service members. It's basically you perform so well in your Marine services that you got a bonus, which is a coin that they hand you, and it's only given to Marines who
Okay,
perform up to a certain level.
so we're best friends, and we graduated from the same military training together. And he did so well that he got the coin, and I did so bad that I got the lucky rabbit's foot. So, there you go.
Yep,
That's the
that's
background.
perfect.
Cool,
That sounds good to me.
cool.
And then so
D
you have
hundred.
revolver 1 round. You'd probably want to buy some more ammunition or something.
I yes. Do I roll 100 for trinket and patch or no more?
Yep,
All right, here we go. Roll 1d100. 71.
71. So 71 under trinkets is going to be faded green poker chip.
Faded green poker chip. It's a memento from high school when this guy
Right.
peaked as most Marines.
You were gambling in high school.
Sorry, Marines. Yeah, that's when he was top Chad.
All
Life's been
right, all
downhill
right,
ever since.
all right. All right. Next one for the patch.
Yeah. Another roll?
Another roll for patch.
Okay, I didn't roll for the other one, but that's fine. I like the patch I got. 15.
15. You have a Viking skull.
Sure. Sure, 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 sure.
Step
Viking
5.
skull patch. This guy's Thor. I'm visualizing him as Thor. A
Yeah.
big beard and cool.
And of course, he gets you roll 2d10, and you add that up and times it times 100, and that's how much money he starts out with.
Roll to the 10. See, they don't pay in the Marines. So he got
So 90.
90. So we
Jeez.
same page 17.
I believe, yeah, yeah.
All right. What would a Marine need? A Marine would want a heads-up display, an infrared locator, allows crew members at a control center, and long-range comms. Can't afford it though. Mac boots. Mac boots seems good. I can game the hell out of that. I'm gonna get the Mac boots.
Ooh,
Yeah. Let's write that down.
pretty
Mac
nice.
Mac boots. And I didn't know that there was actually another page of things that we can buy, which is
Yep.
the next one. So let me look at it real quick. Pain pills, here's rebreather. Allows for underwater breathing up to 20 minutes. Okay. Short range comms. Short range comms. It presumes that I have the other walkie-talkie, right? Like they sell them in pairs. I sure hope.
No, it's not like walkie talkies. It's more like you ever seen the Secret Service with the headphones in? They're
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
tap their ear. It's kind of that vibe. It's still sci-fi, so
Cool. So for the 40 that I had left, I'm gonna get the short range comms and the flashlight. And that adds up to 40.
that
Short
sounds good.
range comms, comma, flashlight. Alright, he's ready to go into battle. He
Woo!
still
All
has
right,
one
we have.
armor point, right?
Yep,
Cool.
yep. It just has one, but we'll get more.
Like it, like it, like it. Alright,
So
two,
make
two
sure
more,
that's
right?
all
But
saved
let
and
me
good
let
to
me give
go.
him a
And
name. He's Robert Greenberg. I don't know why the
Speedster.
name just came to me. Graduated from same military school as Draco. My character is Draco. Is the scientist.
Okay,
They're buddies.
sounds cool.
Cool. All right. So let's save this PDF uh, right here, and let's just call it Robert. Yay. All right. Cool. Now let's do it again. Right. All right.
Yep.
Open.
So now we'll do either Android or Teamster.
Okay. It's gotta be. I cannot have like two androids.
I mean, I
I,
would prefer a balanced team.
yeah.
They
Okay.
all have a sort of different niche that they fill.
And I see. All right. Fair enough. So this is probably gonna be an android. So let's get started with the roles. What are androids for? Let me see. Intellect, stat, fear,
So I'll
teamster.
read you the little definition that it has in the book. Androids are terrifying and exciting additions to any crew. They tend to unnerve other crew members or to cold humanity. One other thing I will note is the android don't suffer from the human usual conditions that humans have to deal with. So, when it comes to dealing with, I don't know, radioactivity or zero oxygen or places that humans cannot go,
Yeah.
they send you in.
Okay. All right. This is gonna be an android girl, like Blade Runner. You know,
Okay.
because someone needs to keep up the morale in a very chauvinistic world. So, I
Now
will.
with
I'm
the
gonna get.
source material, I take it more like the the androids from the Alien
I
movies.
remember. I kind of like the first one, Bishop.
Yep. So it's very much like the territory Bishop is.
Okay. Android. Roll to the 20, and we got a 20.
Not bad.
Damn, she's good at something. Damn, look at the perfect. How is this possible? Am I doing it right? Oh, I'm doing 2d10s. I'm sorry. I should have. No, no,
Yeah, I
no,
was
no,
kind of
no.
wondering about that.
I was like, that's a really good Android. Like, what's up with that? All right, let's try again. Roll to the 10. Yeah, that's more like it. So we got an 11. We got another 11. We got a 12. They're very consistent in the Android factory, except for one where they completely dropped it. So, yeah, she's I plus 20 to intellect. She's gonna be 24 in intellect. She's Bimbotron 3000.
Okay.
Speed is. Oh no, it's plus 25. So that makes it 29. Alright. Then 25, there's gonna be 37 for speed. Then I got two 11s, which make them 36 and 36. Alright, cool. I already added the plus 10 to intellect. Minus 10 to one stat. Damn. Well, she's not made for fighting. Don't make ladies fight. 60 fear save. I haven't done that. Let's do the saves. 2d10. So that's one save, two saves, three saves. So she has a really bad crap. Let's say sanity save. So it's a 15. 2d10 plus 10. 5 plus 10 is a 15. Okay, so that's spent. She has a really bad for fear. So that's 8 plus 10 is 18. And then the only good one is body. 25 for body. Yeah, she is very expensive to repair, so don't get damaged. Alright, cool. Roll 1d10 plus 10 for health. Roll 1d10. Is a 6 plus 10, 16. Okay, maximum is 2 wounds, is 2 stress. My trauma response, fear saves made by close friendly players are at a disadvantage. So she's unnerving. Alright, she's an android. Linguistics, got it. Computers, oh, I'm duplicating, that's unfortunate. Mathematics, sure. Bonus, one expert skill or two trained skills. Let's see, what are the expert skills? This is nothing fun. Alright, let's look at the trained skills. What does Rimwise mean?
Rimwise is kind of streetwise when you think of the galaxy, the central organized part of the civilized galaxy. There's always that Wild West frontier at the edge where they're always trying to expand out, and things are kind of shady and Mos Eisley sort of, the rules don't quite apply the same out here.
So it's like street
And
smarts?
yes, it's street smarts for being on the bad side of civilization.
Alright, that's gonna be the next one. That's gonna be the next one. This one is really not that great at anything. I mean, strength, speed, intellect, and combat. Let's give her athletics and military training. Yeah, we all got military training. She was standard issue. It's not letting me do it though. Why not? Military training. There you go. All right, cool. Yeah. So yeah, we were all together in military school.
All right.
In military school. Her name is Alexis Bannerand. I don't know what that means. Just made it up.
Okay. I mean, you can
Uh,
also give her like a serial number or a brand name or a
yeah.
model number.
AB 17. There you go. Cool.
The Alexis 9000 or something like that. Whatever you want.
That's the nickname. Pronouns. Beep
Gesundheit.
slash boop. That's the pronouns. Beep boop. Roll for equipment.
So of
That's
course, remember she gets one extra wound, so she has 3 wounds instead of 2.
oh, that's good. There you go.
And
Oh,
did you roll your
60
health?
fear save. I did 16.
Huh?
60 fear save. So that's my son getting excited in the background. All right, 78 fear save.
Nice.
Oh, and I need to nerf something by 10. It's gonna be combat. She's not made for fighting. All right, there we go. It's really vulnerable. We're gonna have to protect her for some reason because she's
All
not
right.
particularly good at anything.
We could do your loadout this time.
The loadout. Okay, so that's D10, right?
Yep.
Roll 1d10. Says 1.
All right. 1. We'll get you a vac suit.
Back suit.
VACCSUIT.
Okay.
And that has 3 armor points.
Okay, 3 AP. She has the best armor out of everybody, ironically.
The picture in the book is reminiscent of what you would like an astronaut wears in space. It's basically
Okay.
a zero G. It's a vacuum suit.
Okay.
Um,
Can they
the
trade later?
what's that?
Can she give it to the Marine and like trade suits?
I mean, that's up to you. If those 2
Alright.
characters decide they want to do that,
Cool,
I will
cool.
tell you the vac suit comes with a headlamp and oxygen supply, but it also has a note that it is very heavy, meaning that all speed checks are at a disadvantage.
Headlight, oxy supply, speed minus. Okay, well, she's not great at speed, so she's just gonna be
In
normal.
addition to a vac suit, she has a revolver with 12 rounds.
Okay.
I find it absurd that the
The
Marine rolled
android,
up 1 bullet
yeah,
and
we're
she's
gonna swap.
packing a whole box of
We're gonna swap very soon, as
Okay.
soon as the game begins. Cool, cool, cool.
She has a long range comms,
Long range comms.
which is kind of like one of those field satellite phones the military used to use,
Cool,
but
useful,
your sci-fi equivalent.
useful.
And she has a satchel that allows her to carry all this stuff.
Satchel storage. Beautiful. All right. Credits.
Yeah, 2d10 times 10.
2d10. She has 50. All right. What can I
Oh, nice.
do with 50?
That's the lowest so far.
Yeah. Because, they discriminate against
Scientist was
androids in this world.
scientist was rolling.
Yeah. The scientist gets paid science money. Crap.
Get that science money.
Body cam. I'm not gonna send her away. Locator. Lockpick set. Nah. Long range comms. I already have long range comms. That's the one good thing I have. Oxygen tank. She doesn't breathe. She's an android. Rebreather. Scalpel. Plus 10 to making surgery skills. I hope we're not in that position. Standard crew attire, steam pack, survey back suit. We have a back suit. Wow, we got lucky with the back suit. Crap, there is really nothing that good, honestly.
You can always
So,
save it.
I'm going to... Nah, I'm going to spend there. Probably no stores in space. I'm going to get some binoculars for 35. Binoculars. And I have 15 left. Let me look at anything that's either 15 or 20. Standard crew attire. No, we don't need that. Water filter. Can pump 50 liters of filtered water in an hour. I mean, that could be useful depending on how survivalish the situation is. We don't need a flashlight because I have heat, Ooh, yeah, let's get the water pump. Water filter. Water filter. Thirst is not gonna kill us. Something else will. Cool. 50. Alright, now it's an android. Okay, we already did the skills. That's cool. Alright, that's it. We done? This her?
Oh, we forgot the trinket and patch.
Oh, yeah. The D100. Roll
Yep.
1 D100. 5.
All right, your trinket for this android is a necklace of shell casings.
Necklace of. What does that mean?
Shell case. You know, when you fire a bullet, it sends the lead out and then it ejects the shell.
Shell casings.
Yeah, it's
Shell
spent bullets. It's fired bullets,
casings.
and so you have a
Okay.
necklace of fired bullets.
This was a gift from Robert because he was showing parasocial interest in an android. Gift
All right,
from
all right.
Robert. Yes.
And we'll do the patch.
Yeah. All right. Patch. Here goes the roll.
53.
Yeah.
53 gets you a NASA logo.
Of course. Of course it does. NASA logo.
So on her clothes underneath, her uniform, or her back suit, you have a NASA logo.
Yeah,
You're
it's an
cool.
astronaut. Yeah. It's
There you go.
So the NASA had a program, a joint operation with the military, and they provided astronaut suits to see if bullets fly in space. Cool. Save as Alexis.
Just one of the patches on this list is a pinup of a naughty nurse, and the words say, "The louder you scream, the faster I come."
Okay, that is a naughty nurse. We have naughty
I
nurses
like
in
my
this world.
tools clean and my lovers dirty.
All right, so
Yeah, some of them are really naughty.
let's do the Teamster.
All
So
right, Teamster.
Teamster. All right, let's roll to the
You save the
tens.
Android sheet.
I say the Android.
Good.
Alexis. So we got a 13. We got a 15. We got an 11, and we got an 18. All
Now
right.
you're gonna want to think like, your traditional union worker or trucker,
Yeah.
someone like, kind of all around set of general skills, can do most things pretty well, but is mostly the like pack mule that ever just like go do some work. Teamsters are
Well,
there to do everything that no one else is doing.
then this is gonna be a strong character. He's gonna be at 25 plus 18. It's gonna be 43 in strength. So my 18 is now spent. Then he's gonna be 15 in speed. So that's a 40.
Mhm.
Then for intellect, he's gonna be. He's not very bright. He's 36.
Hey,
Let's
you
raise
went
it.
to public school.
Went to public school. And then we got a 38 for combat because, he got in trouble in public school. So this is
I
your.
don't know if it's stereotypical, but you should rule him with a New Jersey accent.
Yeah, if I can. I wish I could do accents. I would love that. I'll try. Alright, roll 2d10 for the saves. So 2d10. There's one save, there's another save, and there's another save. So, he is going to be losing his mind pretty quickly, so he's gonna be 16 on sanity. Fear, he's gonna be at 20 in fear. And body, he's gonna be at 22 because he's a big boy. Alright, Teamster, plus 5 to all stat, plus 10 to all saves. Oh, okay. Well, 26, 30, 32, 48, 45, 41, and 43. How is this possible? How is. Oh no, I still beat him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I went to college. Alright, the scientist did. His name is gonna be Malik. No, Malice Michael. 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 Uh, Michael Summers. I don't know where that name came
Michael
from.
Summers. That's
Uh,
like a name straight from the '80s.
yeah,
Michael Summers.
yeah, that's him. And he is a teamster who got into wrong side of the law and is trying to clean up his act.
I don't know why I think of Big Trouble in Little China, but because his
Yeah,
character was totally a teamster.
yeah, there you go. All right, held. Roll 1d10 plus 10 for help. Roll 1d10 plus 10 for help. 16 help. And that's because he smokes a lot. That's his problem.
Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Wounds maximum of 2. Everybody is stressed. Because, we're going to space and people don't care for us. You may take advantage on a panic check, sure. Alright, 7. So he is a teamster. Industrial equipment. Industrial equipment. Like so. 0G. Yeah, that's where
Yep.
the work gets done. Bonus 1 trained skill and 1 expert skill. Yeah, jury rigging, which leads into explosives or mechanical repair.
So mechanical repair is like doing engineering with tools to fix something, and jury rigging is doing it with duct tape. It's like jury rigging is very much the MacGyver. Like I'm gonna get this up and running, but I don't know how long it'll last. And mechanical
Yeah,
repair is actual repairing stuff.
cool. So I'm getting both. I'm getting junior rigging and I'm getting mechanical repair.
Good,
Cause
good.
yeah, this guy can repair stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
useful.
that's the guy. That's the guy. All right, equipment. Oh, the money. No. What is
Yeah,
it? Yes, it's no. It's 1d10 for a loadout first, right?
right. We'll do
All right.
loadout.
All right, let's do loadout. Roll 1d10. 3.
3. All right, your Teamster's loadout is going to consist of a hazard suit, which
Hazard
is
suit.
has an armor point of 5.
Okay. Sure. Stay
You're
protected.
also going to have you rolled the 3, right?
I rolled a 3.
You have a vibe shetty.
I saw that. I saw that in the second page. I know what that is. Yes. It's a machete that functions as a
Right?
massager on the pommel.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's a machete that vibrates, so it allows it to
That's-
cut through stuff a lot
There
easier.
you go. Presumably the pommel also vibrates. You can use it for massage.
Kind of like one of the weapons from a Warhammer 40k character.
Yeah, I like it. I like
I
it.
don't know if it has a definition of vibe shetty. It's not in the weapons. Anyways, so additional to the suit and the vibe shetty, you also have a spanner. Everybody needs a wrench. You have
Yes.
camping gear,
Yes. I like it.
and you have a water filtration device.
Oh no.
You can filter water, so you never have to worry about
I know.
going
That's
dry.
what I bought for the Android. Ah. Alright, that's fine. So now here comes the money. Show me the money. If a Teamster has more money than a scientist, I'm gonna flip a switch.
Oh yeah,
Rolls.
but he's working on union pay.
And he does have a lot. Look, he's loaded. He's absolutely loaded.
My
Alright.
lord, that's
What's
200 credits.
200 credits? How
Who's
did
gonna
these
keep
guys.
them in the
Oh,
bank? That's how you keep your money building. You just don't spend it.
you know why this is? Because remember how I said he was in the wrong side of the law? Like he
Yeah.
sold a few things that he wasn't supposed to have, and like maybe that's why he's going off planet. Wants to lay low for a while. So with 200 of his stuff, he bought. Damn, the one time I can splurge, and I don't see anything.
So I just want to let you know, a Vibe Shetty is 1,000 credits.
I
It
know
does
this
three.
guy is loaded.
It does 3D 10 damage, which is kind of a lot, and it causes bleeding and gore effects.
Jesus Christ. Ah, that's the Vichetti?
Yep.
Uh, you know what? I'm gonna buy three of them, and now we all have a Vichetti. You know? So I'm gonna
Yeah.
say three Vichettis. And I still have 50 left.
Okay.
So with those 50 left, I'm gonna buy. I don't know what to buy, bro. Locator, nah. Lockpick set. This should be useful for. Oh, confers 10% on rolls made to open these doors. Lockpick set.
There you go.
Rebreather. Scalpel. You know, there is a glaring lack of healing. Because I could never afford the healing pills because they're like 300.
Yeah.
So that is unfortunate. Uh,
Well, this is not a PvP stuff, so you don't have to have a tank and a healer.
I only have a tank and a healer. Fair enough. What do I do with my last 50? Oh, God. You know, can we just give him Mac Boots for 55 that he just nabbed at a
Yeah,
market? Alright,
I'll let it
yeah.
slide.
Alright, it's just $5. Mac Boots. Uh, Excellent. And then he's gonna spread the 3 vibe shadys. Armor points is 5. He was absolutely loaded. And did we already do his skills? We did his skills. We're good. That's the guy.
All right. What
I'm
need is
gonna Michael
his
Summers.
trinket, his trinket in his patch.
Oh, that's right. The trinket and his patch. So for the trinket is a D100.
Yep.
Roll 1D100. We got a 68.
68. Let's see. Manual. You have a book. It is a manual. It reads on the cover, Moonshining with gun oil and fuel.
And it's perfect. It's perfect. That's what he was selling. Moonshining with gun oil and fuel. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
that's the Teamster character. Love it.
What's his patch?
Roll D100. I hope he gets the Norse. It's a 7.
7. Mr. Yuck.
Mystery Yuck.
It's a patch that just reads Mr. Yuck.
Mystery Yuck patch. Um,
I don't know
Interesting.
if it's just a funny thing he saw in a gas station somewhere and picked up.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if that was his street name, like Mr. White, when he was selling his
Yeah,
moonshine.
they call it. They said it was yucky, and they said, "What did you make this off?" And he said, "It's a
Ah,
mystery."
it's the good old Mr. Yuck just came in. Got a bottle of Mr. Yuck on the shelf.
There you go. Nickname from his trading days. Let's call it that. Yeah. Excellent. I love it. All right, let's save. Uh, the problem is now, Sean. Now I don't want him to die. I am emotionally
Oh,
attached.
none of them. We don't want any of them to die.
That's gonna be
But
my problem now.
unfortunately, we'll see what the aliens get to say about that.
Cool. Cool.
So,
Four cool
you have
characters.
you have four characters. They're all lined out. I don't know how well you're going to be able to juggle them. I'm going to help you with the decision making or offloading any of the character stuff if you just want to focus in on one character.
Uh,
However,
we'll figure it out.
well,
It's yeah.
we're going to talk about some things here. All right. So, for the most part, the way this game engine plays is you describe what you want to do and you just do it. And if I think that it is contested or in some way would be difficult for you to achieve,
Yeah.
I will require you to do a stat check,
Okay.
which will be you will roll 1d100 underneath your strength, your speed, intellect, or combat,
Oh,
depending on the
that's how it
action you're doing.
works. So you gotta roll
Now,
low. Okay.
it's kind of an interesting system because the way that it rolls is that if you get under it, you're successful. If you get over it, you fail.
Yeah.
But failures give you stress.
Failures give me stress. Okay, that's reasonable.
Okay. So then in saves is the same thing. It's a D100 under your sanity, fear, or body, depending on, and this is a reaction of something happens, and they're not like health is your health pool. These threes are like measurements of your other sides of health, whether or not your body's able to resist hunger, disease, whether you're able to keep a level head while maintaining with fear, loneliness, depression, and sanity is when you deal with inconsistencies and chaos and trying to understand, sense and order out of the universe when things don't make sense.
Okay,
And so if you roll under, you fail and you gain a stress, and if you roll over, or sorry, if you roll over, you gain a stress, you fail. If you roll under, you succeed.
I see.
Now,
I
when
understand.
you're rolling, you also have advantages and disadvantages. These
Yeah.
are given by various things that will happen in the game and in the environment and in the character, and they equalize each other out. If you have both an advantage and a disadvantage, they cancel out. If you keep an advantage, it allows you to roll if you're rolling with advantage, you're rolling twice and taking the higher roll.
Ah.
If you roll with a disadvantage, you roll twice and take the lower roll.
Okay, I get it. I understand. And when do I have advantage and when do I have disadvantage?
That comes up to me deciding when is a
Oh, you'll tell me.
situation
All
that'll
right,
give
cool.
you.
Cool, cool, cool.
So it's situational advances. Like if you have three or four characters all working on a same thing together, then the one character's doing it, the others are assisting, and then that character that rolls gets an advantage.
Got it, got it.
Now, another rule that is important to keep in mind is that there's critical success and there's critical failures.
Okay.
If you roll double on a D100, you roll 11, 22, 33, it counts as a critical. If it's under your number, it's a critical success. If it's over your number, it's a critical fail.
That's cool. That's super fun. One out of every 10 is a big one. Love it.
Okay. Now, as you fail rolls or saves for stat checks or saves, you build up stress. You
Yeah,
start out with two, you build up as you fail rolls.
yeah.
As the stress gathers to you, you reach a point where you can panic. And if I believe that something extreme has happened and will cause you to panic, you are going to have to roll under your amount of stress on a d20.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the only change in the dice is when you panic. And there's a large list of various outcomes that you get. Anything from you get nervy and jumpus, you get coward, you get suspicious or paranoid, or at the end, if you roll a 19, you have a heart attack, and if you roll a 20, your character just drops dead.
Jesus Christ. So, okay. Okay, hold on. So I rolled a 20 when I what triggers that? When do I reach that point?
So when a panic check is going to occur, when I believe that the situation has pushed you to the point of panic.
Okay, and that happens when the stress is high, right?
It really is up to what's happening in the game.
Okay,
They
cool.
list here a list. They say when you watch another crew member die, when you witness more than one other crew member panic at the same time, whenever your ship rolls critical failure, everyone on board has to make a panic check. Whenever you encounter something truly terrifying or horrifying for the first time, when all hope is lost and death is certain, or whenever you, the player, decide, yeah, you know what, this seems like a good time for a panic check, then you roll a panic check and your character has behavioral conditions that they are afflicted by while they're under the
And
stress of that panic.
and there is no good outcome out of that panic check, is there?
No, however, you got to keep in mind that there is, first of all, you're exploring terrible situations and encountering horrible things that should not exist and being screwed over by corporations. So that's an inevitable sort of downward spiral. You do have the ability to relieve stress, however,
Oh,
and stress comes from resting in a relatively safe place. And so what you do is you make a rest save, which is you use whichever the worst save you have, you roll under that.
the worst save I have, I
Yep.
roll under that, and that means I rested and removes the stress.
It reduces your. It says here it reduces stress by 4. I'll have to check on the number that it
Reduces
reduces.
by 4.
Roll 24 under for save and save. Reduces stress by. I'll have to get to the numbers of how much it reduces it. But that's how you do it: is you rest and then you roll. Meaning that if you have a really bad number and you roll terribly, you could actually gain more stress while trying to rest.
Oh boy, we're so
But that's
screwed.
okay.
I got it. I understood. Bring on the
Depends on
aliens.
whether the aliens eat you or not. You know what I mean?
I do know. I do know.
Um, so I'll go over a couple things just for they're in the player's guide. You can read through the guide at any time and kind of get a handle of how these things work.
Sure.
There's ability to train skills. The training skills takes a decent amount of time. So if you want to trait like master skills, your character kind of steps out for up to 6 years, and we can jump forward in a time, or you can play another character. Skill training is not really something that's a big part of a single um, adventure or scenario. It's something you do if you're taking a character through multiple adventures.
Okay, assuming they leave that long. Sounds good.
Okay, so when you're doing things in the game, turn order is kind of irrelevant. You can decide what turn order you want your characters to go. There's no initiative or anything like that. I will tell you if that you encounter surprises, and so those characters, monsters will move first or whatever. But for the most part, you get to decide what all your characters do before the monsters go.
Okay. All right. I got it.
And then pretty much anything this game is built out of logic. So if you can make a rational case to support, hey, these are the stats, this is what my character's doing, it would make sense.
Yeah.
It's allowed.
Okay.
Unless I think it is something that you would not succeed in or you would have a difficult time doing, then we'll make a roll based on one of your stats.
Okay. Understood. Understood.
Um, Health goes to 0, you get wounds. There are 4 distances. There's adjacent, there's close range, long range, and extreme range. It's very simple. There's a bunch of rules in the book about like bleeding, atmosphere, cryo sickness, all that kind of stuff. Oxygen, radiation, stim pack. Stim packs. So the stim packs are kind of like little morphine shots that you put into you, and they're really great at healing. But if you use too many of them in a day, you have to basically make a roll to not die.
Okay.
So don't overdose on stim packs.
Jesus.
And near the back of the book, there is a contractor setup. So as you play, when you have like a group of people are playing, and you're like, oh, we survived a mission, we have all this money. Let's hire a bunch of contractors, and they're gonna go in and do tasks for us, so we don't have to be the ones who die first.
That yeah, the red shirts. You always need the red
Yeah, you
shirts.
could hire a team of red shirts, and it has rules for how much they cost, what their salaries are, what their stats are, stuff like that.
Okay.
Uh, and I think that's it. I think that's the core of the rules.
Cool.
Let me check something real quick because I think I
Yeah.
need to look at the PDF I gave you. It doesn't match the one I have. That sucks.
There. I'm looking at the PDF. There, you can make your ship too, which is
Yep,
interesting.
there's a whole so I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna bring this up on camera for you.
Yeah.
All right. So the box that I got, it comes with a player's guide. It's very tiny. It comes with a warden's guide, which is a lot of advice. It's not like rules so much as it's just sort of like, how you handle certain situations. There's a shipbreaker's toolkit, which lists various ships and how ship-to-ship combat and movement works. There's a monster guide, and then this is deluxe edition comes with like 3 or 4 other books, which are little campaigns and scenarios. One of them's a space station with a bunch of locations. One of them's a mega dungeon. One of them's another like big planet side mega not mega dungeon, but like a campaign adventure. And then this game, which is what we're gonna play. This is another bug hunt.
Okay, I'm getting Starship Trooper vibes. You
That's
know?
what I thought going in.
Yeah. You
So
monkeys want to
we
live forever. Yeah.
so yeah.
I
I
love
think
it.
we're good. We
I
have our
love it.
14 members. We understand how they operate, their mentality, what their names
Yeah,
are, their personalities, like how they differ from each other, so you can tell them apart.
yeah. I
We're
have
not
their backstory and everything. Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not we're not doing what's the four elements or whatever. I don't know if you ever watched that After Dark comedy show, but it
No.
talked about like how there's statistically in history stories are told with four character elements.
Oh,
They match the old bile and blood and whatever the sanguine, the four elements of
the
the
humors.
humors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they match the four humors. They match the four turtles. The Donatellos and the Michelangelos and Leonardos and such.
Yeah, the Fire
It's-
Nation invaded one day.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could apply this template to like a lot of storytelling with these four characters and their dynamic quadrants.
I like it. I like it. Well, there's four stats. So I got one guy who's smart. I got one guy who's brawly. I got one guy who's strong. I don't have anybody who's speedy. So I'm gonna say the girl is just beautiful and that's it.
All right, that's
It's a
good enough. Let's
beautiful
hope the monsters
android
think
like
so.
Blade Runner. Yeah,
All right,
done.
then let's start. You're all ready. You need to do anything? Bathroom break?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was born ready, soldier.
Born ready, soldier.
Yeah,
All right. So I would start with a little advisement that
yeah.
99% of human population remains on planet and continues to exist much as our modern life continues to exist.
Okay.
The vastness of civilization spread across the planets that we've reached with our jump ships has allowed us to have just traditional like what we have on Earth across these various planets. There's I don't know, whatever you want to think for politics and empire or
Yeah.
corporation type of setting, kind of like we imagine how the world exists now, but in space. And then towards the further reaches, there are rim planets, where the
That's where the
areas
rim.
that are unexplored, the final frontier, it's a wild west out there. And
Yes.
first, we're gonna say this is the 1980s. This is a VHS tape. There's celluloid grainers on the side of the screen as it flickers.
Yes.
Probably Fox 20th or New Line Entertainment.
Oh, I can visualize
And
it.
we come in on our adventure, another bug hunt. Off
Beautiful.
at the rim of the galaxy, there is a planet that had the proper set of resources for people to explore. And so a corporation has set down an unnamed corporation, which I don't know if the book even gives it a name, has set down a terraforming system. So they've gone in and they've set up a terraforming project and they are converting the planet to a habitable planet for life,
Yeah.
for human life at least. And in the process of this, something has gone wrong.
Which is
And
Aliens
we
2,
cut,
essentially, which is my favorite movie. I love it.
yeah, yeah, we're doing aliens too.
Yeah.
So we cut to your scientist. What's his name?
Draco Veranis.
Draco Varanus, not Malfoy.
Yes. Yeah,
Varanus.
not Malfoy, not Malfoy, yeah.
Okay,
Unrelated.
good, good. Uh, so we cut to your scientist, and cryo sleep is like a really nice, warm sleep. You're having a nice, beautiful Sunday,
Yeah.
and then there's that moment where the windows or the curtains part enough, and a crack of sunlight comes in
Yeah.
and disrupts your peaceful sleep,
Yeah.
and you wake up naked and freezing,
Yeah.
realizing you are in a deep sleep in a cryo chamber. You're not quite sure who you are or where you are. And before you realize it, you're being removed by mechanical arms into a seat wearing nothing but a hospital gown type of getup.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's a massive monitor in front of you that reads welcome, and it reads your name, which is what was
Draco.
that name again?
Draco Veranis. I'll put it in the. You can see my
Varanus.
screen too. You
Varanus.
can see my my PDF there. There you go.
Draco Varanus.
Yeah.
Uh, and it says you are exiting cryo sleep. You have been out for 3 weeks. We have reached our destination. Have some coffee and wake up. And next to you is a small table where somebody has put a one of those food bars in a wrapped plastic and a fresh cup of coffee to your specifications.
All right. Oh boy. In cryosleep, I was dreaming of the life I left behind on Earth, and
Okay.
there was a romantic interest who things didn't
Ooh.
turn out too well, and when things went really southwards and everything was lost, I said, "There is nothing else for me in this world. There's no reason for me to stay here. I'm gonna sign up with the Woyland Yotani Corporation and go troubleshoot their problems in the rim, and
Well,
that's gonna be my
let's
new
let's
life."
make it easy. What
Yeah,
do you want to call this corporation?
uh, Woyland Yotani. Uh,
Let's
yeah,
take the name.
yeah, like there. That's the name of the corporation.
Yeah, yeah. Roland Yantani.
Yes,
All right,
and
yeah. All
and
right.
so yeah, I decided that I would work for them, and the reason why I did that is because my friend Robert in the military told me that the pay was good. And he told me that he still had hooked up with his whole high school flame, which is the Android, because he hacked her code to be more warm than normal Androids. He didn't do it himself, he's not a hacker. I helped him with that. And they're still together and they're working for Boyle and Yotani, and they said the pay is good, and they asked me to join them, and I said, you know what, I had a good time with you in drill military school, and I remember you and your girl, like, sure, I'll join you. And then I signed up for this project. Now, question, do I know what the mission is? Did they tell me, or they just said just go to
You have
sleep
not been
and
briefed. You knew that there was a mission that was classified enough for them to not brief you until you arrived at the
until I
destination, and
was
you
there?
just
Fair
gotten out of
enough.
the. So knowing in have you done this before? Is this your first jump?
Let's say that I have worked for corporations on Earth on all things artificial intelligence, which is my master skill,
Right.
and that's why they hired me for this job. Presumably, has something to do with artificial intelligence, is what I assume. Otherwise, they wouldn't have hired me. And
Your expectation then is that they will be telling you what the mission is before they send you in blind. They're not just going to throw you down into a planet.
I expect that when I wake up, somebody is gonna have a PowerPoint for me that says, "Here is why we need a hacker," and then I'll say, "Okay, sure, that's the job." And I also
Well,
expect
so
that my friend is somewhere in cryosleep nearby.
I was gonna say, as you're sitting there thinking, and you find this coffee cup is in your hands, you look to your left, and you realize that the Marine is there,
Yeah,
and to your right, the Teamster is there.
the Teamster. Okay. All right.
Which
Well,
we'll have to get their names down too, because I'm apparently illiterate.
yeah. It's Robert Greenberg.
All right,
Is
let's
a
see. Oh,
Jewish Marine. Yes.
can you write
And
it in chat?
yes, Robert Greenberg, Jewish
Robert
Marine.
Green.
And then we got Michael Summers. He's a New Jersey Teamster. And
Perfect.
and then the robot, the android, is AV-17, but Robert renamed her to Alexis Banarand, which is a play on a streamer that he fell in love with. And he
Oh, that's
renamed
funny.
his android to that because he wanted to have his own personal streamer. And,
Ah,
the two of them
got
are
it.
still together. That's it. That's the names.
All right.
So yeah, so
So
they're
as
waking up. So I get dressed really quickly because the last thing I wanted to see me is in this state. Presumably my lab
so
coat is around.
you look to the left of you, the Robert's waking up. To the right of you, Michael's waking up. Both of them have drinks that are to their specifications for waking them up, with good coffee.
Good.
And you look behind you, and there at the wall at the cryo chamber you at, there is a sort of a container like a dresser that has your name labeled on it, and
All
each
right.
of them has a dresser with their name labeled on it.
I stumble towards there, feeling groggy and weak and sore all over from cryogenic sleep
Yep,
and grumbling
where you're kind
and
of shaking.
yeah,
I will tell you out of the book it states that when you get out of cryo sleep, you are basically at a disadvantage for most rolls for a good like hours, if not days.
it makes sense. It makes sense. I feel like what I exactly been through, which is who knows how many light years in cryo sleep.
I'll find
So
the specific to endure long space journeys or hyperspace jumps, crews use cryopods, which are coffin-like capsules that freeze them in suspended animation. While in cryosleep, vitals are preserved, aging slows down. However, upon awakening, you experience a hangover that's called cryosickness, which causes sluggishness and slow reflexes. While suffering from that, you have a negative, or which is a disadvantage on all rolls for 1 week. Upgraded cryo chambers can help mitigate these, and a stim pack can cure them instantly.
okay, well I don't have steam packs, so I'm ready to feel shitty for a week, and that's what I signed up for,
So
and hopefully the money's good.
when you stumble over to the dresser,
Yeah.
you open it, and there's immediately a stim pack there
Mm,
with a sign on it that says use this first. And then there is a set of drawers that have not loadout, miscellaneous equipment and your name again.
I see. Okay, well, since my character has no idea what he's running into, he is gonna make the extremely dumb decision to use the steam pack right away
Okay.
because he has no idea that he will need it very soon. He doesn't know that. He thinks this is
Well,
gonna be
granted,
another boring job.
they're they're very expensive, and this has been provided as complimentary for you getting out of cryo sleep. You know that certain corporations provide them when they bring people out of cryo sleep just to mitigate the week of
I
offset costs.
correct. I figure that if they need me at my best for hacking computers, then they invested in bringing me back up. So I dumbly take the Steam Pack and immediately use it, and I
All right.
mark that in my memory as something that I will regret 2 days later.
It's kind of like injecting morphine, and you feel a wave over you, warmth that spreads across your body. You're no longer shaking. Or after it takes a bit of time. It's a good so many minutes of getting dressed and sitting down that allows you to replenish yourself. But finally, your health starts to come back to
Excellent,
functionality. By the
excellent.
time all three characters have finally gotten dressed and used their
Yes,
stim packs, the door opens up, and
yeah,
the android, Alexis,
yes,
steps in. She
yes.
has been just sort of walking around the ship, helping with small tasks. She doesn't have to go into cryo sleep, and she's a useful set of second hands, so they just have her do various tasks around the ship while you're in the jump across space.
Excellent, excellent. Well, as soon as Robert comes in, I pat him on the back and we shake hands and like, hey, have you been? It's our first job, yeah. Small chat and right, good to see him. He's a buddy from war school. Whereas Michael is our first time meeting Michael, so we don't break the ice, just shake hands and he's a coworker. It's fine, right?
Yep,
And then the moment
yep.
Alexis walks in, Robert makes the mistake of running and hugging her and being all emotional, and Alexis reacts like androids by just pushing him away and say, "Be professional, Robert. Like you know that we don't do this on the job." And then he backs
All
away
right.
and feels bad.
So as he's pushed away from his love interest slash walking computer friend, a the door opens up, and a gentleman with big thick eyebrows and a wide forehead, and he has a sort of unshaven recently on like a 1 or 2 day 5 o'clock shadow,
Yeah.
steps into the door frame, and this is, recognize this as your contact. His name is Moss, Maas.
Maas. Got it. Well, I walk up to him, shake his hand, introduce myself. I say I'm the AI expert YW hired, Boylan Yotani.
Good to
And
see professionals, Mr. Baranis.
good to see you. I take a deep breath and I said, and this is the rest of the team. I was told that I would be able to pick my teammates, and I chose Robert for a reason. Unfortunately, we have a different teamster than the one I suggested, but I look forward to working with Mr. Summers. I'm sure he's quite professional.
Thank you, thank you. If you can, sit down. And he has a tablet, and he makes a flick on it with his fingers, and a table rises up from the center between the four chairs around it. There's
Good,
enough room for all four of you to sit down. There
good.
are tablets in each position for you to use yourself, for you to look through the information that he just starts talking about. In the center, there is a hologram projector that comes up with images. It comes up, first of all, in boots with the Wayland Yutani corporate logo. He says, "All right, my name is Moss. I'll be your manager that you are going I'm going to monitor and help you through this position as you unload on the planet to start this job. And I'm going to read through the job description for you. Now, you've been taken to Samson 6. This is the planet below you. It shows on the hologram a jungly type of planet. Doesn't look, it's hard, it's a random planet. It's not recognizable. He says, we are on board the Metamorphosis. This is a J2CA-I executive transport vehicle, and we have just come out of jump. It's been about 3 weeks of travel across the galaxy. We're at the very edge of the rim, and the planet below is where we need you to go down and try to do a job for us, all right?
Uh, Draco is nodding to everything and following along in the tablet. Robert is flipping the tablet back and forth, and the android is going between portrait mode and landscape mode. And notice that the android has the least intelligence out of everybody. She
Does.
is at 21, at 29. Even the Teamster is 41. And Robert is 34.
Starts
So
calling her the toaster.
yeah, so the android was not designed to be a scientist. She's a worker. So yeah, but they're all paying attention. They understand. Name of the planet is Samson 6. It's a jungle planet. Ship's name is Metamorphosis. We just came out of cryo. So
Well, it's halfway through terraforming, so right now it's at a stage where the jungle is proliferated across the planet. The problem is that terraforming has stopped. I'm going to give you a timeline here.
ah,
So, about 10 years ago, Wayland Yutani detected signs of biochemistry on this planet, so they sent teams of investigators. It took them a bit of time to try to locate what was on the planet before the terraforming even started. But about after 9 years of research to find out what their scanners were bringing up, 1 year ago, we sent a skeleton crew of researchers down and established Greta Base, which is just outside the landing zone. Greta Base is going to be the first center you're going to be going towards. From Greta Base, they then established the Heron Terraforming Station. It's a hydro powered off of the local body of water, like there's a lake and a dam. The point is, a Heron Terraforming Station is the primary center that is helping terraform the planet. Now,
got it.
in this process, while they were setting up these bases, they discovered a species of arthropod creatures. These have been labeled carcinids or carcs, uh, and they were terminated on site. However, that was a year ago. 9 months ago, what happened was that they found and captured one of these creatures. They
Okay,
took a larva for experiments and studies.
of course they did.
All right. So everything seemed to go well. We have a couple of doctors down there, very good scientists, looking into this process of this alien species we discovered, trying to figure out what they were. Unfortunately, about 6 months ago, they cut all communications off.
I'll come send it.
So for the last 6 months, we've been in the dark, and we have not figured out what is going on down in there. Now, we've sent stuff in to try to get recon and understand why the station's gone down. We have a good chunk of personnel down there. I'm going to tell you, there's at least a good 30 people down in those bases between the terraformer and the base.
So,
Uh,
these 30 people that are down there, did they arrive earlier than 6 months ago?
they arrived a year ago.
They arrived a
Most of them
year
got there.
ago.
A couple of them onboarded a little late, months on, but that was a year ago. And then 6 months ago is when the station went dark. Everything down there went dark. We can't get a response out of the planet at all. Now, 3 months ago, we set up a crew to try to address the situation. That was 3 months ago when we talked to you and we got you all set up. We sent other people out here to do primary recon,
Yeah.
and you've now arrived. You're going to be our landing team to go on in. So,
We're the first crew, and it just took us 3 months to get here.
you're the secondary crew. We sent in the first recon crew, and they entered the system and found them completely. So, 6 weeks ago, we finally got, because it's quite a bit of travel. We're way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
There is no immediate backup. Our ship here is going to be the only support you have on this planet right now,
Yes.
within any distance. So it took us quite a while, but it was 6 weeks ago we got a team out here. They got no responses. They could not. We sent down a first team, an investigator team to recon it. They haven't come back. So the ship that was carrying them and sent them down came back and made sure that you came here. So you're a professionally trained and set up group that we're going to send in. The first team was just kind of like probes. That's the best
Understood.
way to explain it.
Understood. Do you have any long range communications at all from the first team?
We have nothing from the first team. We have nothing from the base. We have no idea what's going on there. It's completely dark, and that gets the company worried.
So everybody looks at each other like, "Yep, okay." And
All right.
yeah, Robert makes a quippy comment like, "You're paying us hazard pay for this, aren't you?" Because that's Robert.
So I'm going to go over a couple things. Would you like to hear Would you like to hear what you're getting in exchange for this, or you want to hear what your objectives are down there?
I motioned to Robert and said, "Let's find out what they're paying us for yet. We'll deal with the pay later." And then Robert backs down. We're gonna hear the
He
objectives.
flicks his thing, and your screens and the hologram in front of you come up with a list. It lists 2 months of salary up front. It lists 1 month of hazard pay. Upon completion of tasks, these three things will be deposited into your accounts. There is transportation to and from to and from this planet, so we handle your transportation here. And as you can see, you've already got luxury of cryo sleep and a stim pack, so you've been well taken care of. We are also offering issuing you a standard loadout for the exploration into the planet. And the standard loadout is going to consist, and he flicks the image to you, and it shows you on screen a list of one hazard suit, one submachine gun, three magazines, first aid kit, and stim pack.
Okay, that's good. So one steam pack. Let me write it low that.
Every
Uh,
character gets this setup.
one steam pack. What else?
One first aid kit,
One first aid kit. Okay.
one submachine gun,
Submachine gun.
which I'm just going to make a notation for you. You can look it up in the rules. It's either in the front of the front of the player's guide has a short list of weapon stats, but if you look at the images of the weapons, it'll also give you the stats. Submachine guns do 2d10 damage. They consist as long-range weapons, and they have about 5 uses in them. So you can make 5 rolls with the submachine gun before you need to reload.
5 uses each before reload. Cool. I like it a lot more than the revolver with one bullet in it.
The one bullet's not for the enemies. Let's
It's not,
just put it that
exactly.
way.
That's the first thing I thought. All right, one steam pack, one first aid kit, one submachine gun. Got it. 2 months salary, 1 month hazard paid. Okay.
Yep, and also you get one hazard suit. And to give you the specifics on hazard suit, a hazard suit is a armor point 5 outfit. Hazard suits come with short range comms, so you can theoretically talk to each other. You have a or radiation shieldings. You have an air filter and oxygen supply, so you're able to go into adverse environments. And it's the 5 points of armor is enough for you to deal with environmental issues.
Okay.
It also
So
has reclamation, which means that your sweat and your urine and such are then recycled back into your water tank.
got it. Got it. So at that point, Michael speaks up and says, "Look, I kind of already have my own gear. So
All
can
right.
you just give me the money for the hazard suit instead?"
He just kind of raises an eyebrow and looks at you for a moment. I'm gonna,
And
I'm gonna make you
Draco just
push
shrugs his
first.
finger, just shrugs his shoulders. This is his first time working with Michael. And Michael
Yeah, I'm
indeed does
gonna.
already have a hazard suit. So he doesn't need two
Yeah,
of them.
you
He
know
would
what?
rather have the money.
He just kind of shrugs. That was listed under the items, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But where's there it is? Oh wow. He's like, he just kind of thinks for a moment and he smirks and he's like, I'll tell you what, you can sell the hazard suit as soon as you come back. Just take it to the open market. It's all yours.
Michael nods. Yeah, sure. I know a few people who could buy a hazard suit. He's gotta take off the logo though. And then he sits back down.
I'll tell you, just offhand, if you got market value on the hazard suit, it's about 4,000.
Exactly. So Michael's already nodding his head, thinking that this is another good deal. Remember, he has the
Yeah,
most money. He's good with money.
yeah, yeah. No, he's doing good. He's top of the
Yeah.
world right now.
Cool. So yeah, he says, "Yeah, leave it in the box, boss. I want it mint."
Okay. That'll be assigned to your quarters, which you have a quarters here. When you return, you're able to stay in, and all of your other small miscellaneous items, your personal items, anything that wasn't on your character sheet you would have brought, is there. So any mementos or anything else you'd have,
Perfect.
and we
Perfect.
will leave
Perfect.
it in that room for you. All right. So now that we've gotten over the what you get out of this, now we need to discuss what you're going to give Waylon Yotani, because you're not going to get the payment to your account unless you complete some tasks for us.
So yeah, Draco nods his head and says, "I assume you want me to go in and look at their computer, get some logs, some security footage, send it up here."
Well, here's the thing. We haven't talked to them in 6 months, and on the ground, your first priority rendezvous is going to be a second lieutenant Kaplan.
Priority: find second LT Kaplan. Okay.
Yes. So Kaplan is our Marine commander of the colony on the ground. He's going to be the person we have trust the most to know what's going on, to organize any sort of effort to try to get things back up and running, and try to give you the information exactly why they are unresponsive. So, in the
So then
event that you find him and
Robert
he's
stands
still
up from
alive,
his seat and says, "Kaplan? You mean Andrew Kaplan from Yonkers?" And then he turns to Draco and says, "The fucking drill sergeant?" And
like whatever your personal feelings on the matter is, your job is to try to go to find him. He's priority number one.
And Robert goes, "No, no, no. Don't. I know the guy. He was our drill sergeant, isn't it, Draco?" And Draco's like,
Wow.
"Yes, Robert. Let's continue. Let's, yeah."
Moss just kind of rolls his eyes, says, "Well, small world. Good thing you're going on down. You want to find him. You want to get him set up and assist you in repairing the situation, because your first task, if you can find Kaplan, if he is still alive, assuming that he is, your first goal is to try to reestablish the satellite comms. Get into the satellite system at the the main terraforming station. Get the tower up and running. Get communications back online so we could establish and continue on with what we were doing." The second thing is trying to get the terraformer back online. If you can, and everything is in condition to be put back online, then we'll want you to get that up. So comms first. So get the Kaplan's. You'll find him first if you can. Once you find him, or if you don't find him, you want to try to get comms back up and get the terraformer back up and running.
Mark nuts. It
We
all makes
understand
perfect
that.
sense to
Okay.
him.
Now,
And
all
yeah,
of those are sort of a secondary priority. Your main priority is one of two people down there. Now, if you can get those things done, we would prefer them. If something prevents you from Kaplan or getting those online, our other information that we will need is a Dr. Edom or Dr. Hinton. Well, he's not a doctor, Mr. Hinton, I guess.
so the teamster raises an eyebrow. He's curious as to why Mr. Hinton is more important than a whole terraformer. He knows how much things cost. So he pays a lot of attention, but this is nothing. He's listening for now.
Dr. Edom is a mission specialist down there, and he will have the information to give us the best idea of what happened. He was doing the most of the lead on the research. The other scientist or science officer is a synthetic. We have an android down there in Hinton. If you cannot get Hinton back, try to get his logic core. If you can return his logic core and Dr. Edom, there'll be a bonus for you. If you can get the comms back on and the terraformer and Edom and Hinton, you're going to get a big bonus. But at base level, if you can get either one of those scientists' information back to us to understand data on what went wrong here, it'll help us out.
We'll get it done, sir.
All right.
We'll get it done. Now, that said, you mentioned that some scientists were doing research on the carcinoids. Do you
Yeah, there's
happen
some alien species down there.
do you happen to have that research laying around maybe?
We do not. Any of that information is going to be in laboratories down at the base.
Understood.
Which
Understood.
again, if you can access that information and retrieve it in the case that you can't find either the that's, and I will specify that's not Ethan, it's EDEM.
E D E
Edom?
M
I don't know,
E
Edom?
D E M Edom. Edom.
Yeah.
Understood. All right. Draco
Okay.
stands up and says, "Well, figures. May I make one suggestion before we go down to the planet?
Yes,
Can't we
sir.
set up long-range communications between this ship and us? Maybe some body cams. You don't want to send a second team and go dark again.
That's the problem. Because whatever's going on down there, once you get down there, you're going to find that the comms aren't going to send up to the ship until you repair the comms tower.
Understood. Understood. He doesn't say anything anymore. Uh, he was referring to bring some sort of what's the name that they call it here? Body cam. $50.
You
And
want body cams?
and then the long range, short range comes. No, there is one that has long range comes. I saw it. Here it is. 65
Well,
long range
one of your
comes.
characters already has a long range.
The Android does. The Android
Yeah,
does. So if we can send some body cams and if we can use the long range comms to send video feed to the mothership as we descend into the planet, then they would be able to see what we see.
I'll see what I can get together. We'll want you to all meet up at the hangar in about an hour, and we'll have the drop ship all ready to go.
Sounds good. I stand up. This is about the time I finish my coffee. Walk over to
Okay?
Robert, pat him in his back. See Alexis. Good to see you, lady. Haven't aged a day. And she says, because I'm an android. And I says, still don't get jokes. And then I go to Michael, and I said, good to working with you, sir. You have a good head for business. And Michael says, gotta hustle, man. Gotta hustle all the time.
Kind of hustle.
And then they said, okay, we'll see you all in an hour. And then I go to my quarters, and I lay down and meditate for an hour.
All right, we're gonna scoot ahead. All four of you are ready. You've come to terms. You've recovered from your cryo sickness. You've come to terms with your situation. You've prepped together with all the materials you've decided to bring onto this mission,
Yeah.
and you all meet into a hangar where there is a large, bulky ship, which is essentially two pilot seats and then a couple benches in a wide area. It reminds me of those SWAT vans where they're all just sitting in the back with their machine guns and they
Yeah.
come running out. So
I'm
it's very much
visualizing the
like that.
aliens two ship. Yeah, 100%.
As you step into it, you also notice that there's a lot of body odor in there. A
Yeah,
lot of
sure.
people currently, a lot of people have been through here repeatedly. It doesn't get cleaned as much as it should, as there's a lot of sweat, a lot of smell of body.
Sure.
Um, the ship, as it takes off and drops away from the mothership, it is there's a creaking sort of shaking to it where you're like, oh, this is kind of just bolted together. It's been through a lot of activity, so you're like, I don't know if it's just going to fall apart in the middle of the air or what, but I'm hoping everything will stick together.
Do we have a
uh
pilot or is it autopilot?
oh, yep. You up front, you have a stocky shorter man named Anders and a chatty chewing gum lady named Renfield, which are your pilot and co-pilot.
What's the
And
name of the co-pilot again?
the pilot is Anders, the
Yeah,
co-pilot is Renfield.
Renfield.
Hmm.
Renfield. So yeah, I walk over them and just introduce myself, and I ask him, "Are you guys gonna hang around, or do we have to call you back to pick us up?"
Just like once you establish the communication tower, you can send a response to us. Most signals aren't going to come up off the planet, and we're not going to be staying down on the planet. We will stay at the landing pad for a period of time if you need to come back immediately. But we will be leaving up the ship and waiting for the system to come up. And also, we got to fly into a storm here, so you want to buckle up back there.
All right, sir. Listen, do me a favor. If you don't hear back from us, come back in exactly 7 days anyway. Because if we're alive by then, we'll tell you what's wrong with the comms, and we'll all get paid.
At
And I,
that point, there's loud alarms are blaring from the cockpit. You can barely hear over it as you're talking. It interrupts you. You hear
sure.
the snap of Renfield popping her chewing gum, and she's like, "Strap in, boys!" And
I go and sit down
the
and strap in.
as the tablets that he handed you had a part of the information. It had a lot of the information of what you're looking at on this job down here, and part of it was weather map stuff, and they show that there's like a massive storm front coming in, so you are flying through a hurricane.
Jesus Christ! Because of course with this, and I can hear the music, the Aliens 2 music. Whenever they show the
Yep.
storm in the planet, that was
And
beautiful.
everything's shaking, and it's just the loud alarms going off. And they're like, "All right, we gotta pull up. We gotta do thrusters. We gotta get more gravitational lift. Come in the vector. We're getting in the window."
I tried
And
to sit
I
down and
want,
just hold my lunch and my coffee.
I want all four of your characters to make a fear save, which
Damn.
means you roll a
All right.
D100.
All
We're
right.
gonna
Here.
start one by one, so we do this simple.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So roll 1d100. This is Draco, and I need to get under 23, which is not gonna happen. So here we go. 79. He fails it.
All
So
right, and the next character.
do I gain one stress?
Oh, we'll go through that.
We'll
I
go
just
to that
want to see
later.
who fails.
Alright, that's
Yep.
cool. The next one is Robert. He needs to roll under 51. Oh no.
Dice are not being fair to you today.
He doesn't like storms. The next one is Alexis, who is doesn't have data banks on storms. Therefore she's
Wow,
perfectly implacable, right? And then the
impressive.
Teamster needs to roll under 30. And no, the teams. Nobody likes storms. Alexis is wondering what's wrong with everybody else. Everybody else doesn't
All
like
right.
storms.
So those three characters all
Mm.
gain 1 point of stress, meaning their
Mm.
stress should be at a 3 now.
Three, three, and three. Got it. Yeah, that's
All
rough.
right. as you're watching through the little porthole windows, you're seeing storms whip by. It's just an absolute cloud mess out there, and eventually you feel a descent and a thump thump as the whole drop ship lands onto a physical situation,
I
which
exhale,
is
kind of like the same feeling when you get off the roller coaster and it's like, thank God that's over. And
you can
take a
still
deep
hear it
breath.
out there. The alarms up front are still beep, 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 warning, warning, warning. And outside, you just hear. You ever been in a hurricane? You know what these
Yeah, it's
sounds are
rough.
like.
It's rough. Now,
It's pretty bad.
so I'm not gonna ask the question in character, but it's something that Draco would know. Is this planet's atmosphere breathable?
Uh, so through the data you had, I'm just going to cut back to a scene earlier when you were in your rooms for an hour and you were looking through the tablet. From
Yeah.
what your readings are on the information, the air on this has been terraformed to a point where it is breathable to humans and safe enough for them to breathe it. However, after about 3 or 4 days of breathing it without any sort of filtration or oxygen backup, it starts to become like they're being waterboarded
Oh Jesus Christ.
because
Air.
the amount of oxygen is just at a low enough level that you can breathe, but over a prolonged period of time, it becomes a very unbearable experience.
Feels unbearable. After how many days?
It roughly estimated to about 30 was the 3 times 24, so what, 60, 72 hours?
So around 3 days then.
About 3 days.
After 3 days, it feels unbearable. Waterboarding. All right.
It's just such a heavily hydrated atmosphere, and there's such a low concentration of oxygen that you would be preferred to carry your own oxygen, which you already have oxygen tanks. You have everything you need for, I believe, the time of this trip.
Yeah. Got it. Whew, rough. Okay. Well, as soon as the ship stops moving, I look around to my crew. We're all wearing the what's the name of the suits? Back suits.
The hazmats,
The hat.
hazmat.
We're all wearing the hazard suits, just not at each other. And Robert is like staring at me, and I know that's there. Like he's afraid. I just tell him that it's cool. Even myself, I'm afraid. So probably I'm not very convincing. But then Alexis, who is perfectly calm, he's the first one to take a step forward, and then turns to Robert like, "What are you waiting for?" And then he feels ashamed and starts following her.
So the back of this ship has connected up to an airlock system, which is used to make sure and depressurize between the two.
Yeah.
And you are able to step through it into immediately a torrent of rain. There is just liquid coming from the sky. The tropical storm above is terrible and heavy. There's a heavy mist carried in the air. I don't know if you've ever been in a storm or like a coastal city where it's just a constant, like foggy mist in the midst of all this heavy rain. And
Yeah. Yeah.
getting out from the airlock, there is so the landing pad is basically a sort of concrete block that goes into a airlock and then steps down to a road that was once a dirt road but is now currently a thick muddy patch.
So as soon as I go down, I flip the little visor that enables the infrared goggles,
Okay.
and just for a moment, I want to see if there are any heat signatures. I think that's what they do. Uh,
You don't pick anything up major. You can see in this area. So first of all, I will describe that to the side. There's an enclosure to the side, like kind of like the way bus stops work, where it's a sort of temporary small enclosure to get out of the brain. But apart from that, there is a sort of golf cart device which was positioned here for driving directly to the base. And one of the wheels has been removed from it, and it's sort of rusted and bent. Looks like it's been through some hideous weather for the last 6 months. And apart from that, lots of mud, grass goes outwards from you for several meters into bushes. And then when you get about I'd say a good 40 feet ahead of you, 30 feet ahead of you, it is just a line of jungle. And within the sight of the jungle, you can see small flickers of heat signatures, which, knowing your information and everything you know about any animal biology, is probably just miscellaneous wildlife.
Got it. Got it. All right. So here's what I do. I approach Michael, and I tap on his helmet like knock knock, and he turns to see me, and then I just point to the missing wheel of the little golf cart. He looks at it, and he goes, "There's jury rigging, right?" So he's gonna try to jury rig repair the golf cart, and then I turn to Alexis, and I say, and then she turns on the short comms, and then I say, Alexis, try your long range comms, see if you can reach the metamorphosis above. Because I want to know if there is communications at all or if something is blocking us before we even go any further.
All right. So first things first, when you try to talk to each other this close as you're like maybe within arm's reach of each other,
Yeah.
the audio comes through, but there's some interference in the background.
Okay.
The storm does heavily whatever's going on this planet and the storm currently, there is some interference in your comms. So you can hear each other, it's not perfect, and there's a bit of
Okay.
interruption.
Perfect. So that's the three instructions to everybody. Michael, repair the golf cart. Alexis, try long range comms to the mothership. And then finally to Robert, which is our Marine, I just tell him, heads up, there are small creatures far around us, but keep your machine gun ready. And, he stands guard while Michael
All right.
repairs the car and while Alexis tries to contact the mothership.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the first task. You to repair the car, you are able to find a wheel off to the side in the little docking station that was used to house the golf cart,
Yeah,
and you have enough. I'd say you probably have the tools on you enough to be able to get this together.
he has a
So all I
spanner.
will need from you is going to be a skill roll in a
Yeah,
category that you think would fit this situation, which would be what jury rig?
mechanical
Did you pick
repair.
mechanical? Yeah. So what you'll do is you're going to be rolling your what's his intellect, right? What's
41.
his intellect? 41. So
41.
with this expert skill, you add 15 to that roll, and that means you'll have to roll under a 56.
56. This is gonna require math. Alright. Here we go, Michael. Jury rig that wheel. Oh, damn it.
Oh
78.
no. That's while you're trying to repair it, a nut snaps and you realize that the tire is empty, is deflated, and that it looks like you would have to get a whole nother nut to get it screwed on properly. And you don't see any tools around like that or any supplies.
Well, crap. I just pat him in the shoulder. Good job, Michael. I guess
Um,
we're gonna walk.
However, if you failed a roll, that
Yeah.
means that Michael's fear goes up by one.
Fear. Where do I track the fear?
Or sorry, his stress.
Stress. Yeah, he couldn't jury rig a golf cart. Nice teamster you are. Alright.
It snapped. It was so rusted and old and beat up by the weather that it snapped, and he's just like, God damn it.
God damn, this planet is all rusted, boss. Alright. Can Alexis reach the mothership?
All right. Alexis starts scanning through the channels. You're able to pick up the drop ship that's right next to you. And Anders is like, this is a drop ship
No, no,
to
no, no. It's not the.
uh
I want the big one, the one in orbit. That's
okay.
long range comes. Yeah.
You're able to communicate with the drop ship, but as you're tuning to try to get signal up to the ship, the metamorphosis that's up in the sky,
Yeah.
you realize that you are not getting any clear signal.
Oh, okay. So she turns to me and goes, and then I say,
Something is
okay,
blocking comms from the planet. That's part of what was they could not communicate with the planet. Something is blocking comms.
Got it.
The four of you, with your information and what you know about technology and stuff, you all kind of sort of piece together and realize there is something actively blocking the communications.
Got it. So I go, Alexis, tell that to the dropship and tell them to come back in 7 days. We're gonna have more information. So hopefully she relays that to Anders.
All right. Renfield gets on the line and says, "All right, we're going to take the ship back up, and we will be in the base. Send communications as soon as the radio's back up. Godspeed and good luck, gentlemen."
See you in 7 days, Anders. I'm holding you to it. Goodbye. I hang up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And behind you, the ship
I just watch it for a
descends
while.
or ascends up into the swirling storm clouds and is gone. And I just want to give you a picture as you're walking forward. The mud is kind of like ankle to knee deep. There's this like thigh action going on, and there's that sloughed, the slow plunks where you put your foot in, and when you pull it out, as it comes up out, every step is just this sort of struggle against this deep mud. And the mist is so thick that you can see properly good visibility a good 20 feet from you. And after that, it starts to become just clouded.
We're all sticking together, and Robert makes fun like, "Are we having fun yet?" Which is what he used to say during the training, with the Marines. And I ignore him. Draco ignores him. He puts the infrared goggles like 5 seconds on and 5 seconds off, 5 seconds on, 5 seconds
It
off.
is just
Yeah,
coming down, just constant storm, rain. Your outside is drenched. Luckily, the hazmat suit's perfect in this situation. You are nice and clean and dry inside the environment. Of course, there is a sort of moisture hydration. You are feeling like a sweaty sort of being in the middle of the jungle because of the heat and the storm outside, but your bodies are well protected from the environment.
yeah,
On the glass that is your visor looking forward, there are various bugs and gnats and moths and stuff that are landing on your vision.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, they don't stay for long. It's easy to swat them away, but it is pretty thick out here.
yeah. It's terrible. Well, the suits have headlights, is what I'm reading here in my notes.
Yep,
So at
yep.
least there is that,
We are
and
early morning, by the way.
excellent. So Alexis Unflappable is just walking without complaining. To an android, is just one more task she has to do.
Right.
Everyone else is feeling miserable. Draco, in particular, is comparing his current situation to his romantic situation that made him lose Earth in the first place. And he's
Right.
wondering which one is worse. And should he have stayed in Earth? And maybe he could have gotten hired by some AI company instead of being in this godforsaken butthole of the universe on a thunderstorm. And but for now, all they can do is continue walking. And like I said, it's goggles on, goggles off, goggles on, goggles off.
All right. It is a straightforward path. There is a muddy dirt road, or well, a mud road that leads directly to, from your maps and the information you have, it leads probably about a good 10-minute walk. Now, it may take 15 to 20 minutes because of the situation, the mud. Maybe you'll want to walk kind of on the side where the road meets the grass. But the road is double golf cart wide and continues just straight forward. As you get towards the lush jungle trees here, you realize that there is a sort of a carved hallway through the forest. But apart from that, it is completely untamed wilds and
Is
various shapes moving about. There's snakes in the trees. There's, small mammals and animals and birds and such.
yeah. There's no way we're getting into the jungle because we would never get out. We're gonna stay on the road. But we're not gonna walk in the middle of the road because that's a little too open. So we're gonna walk roughly off to the side so that if
Okay.
anything were to happen, we could duck into the trees. But surely nothing will happen.
All right, that sounds good.
And we're
So
working in
as
a
you
straight line, and the one who goes first is me because it's Draco. He has the goggles.
okay,
Then second is Alexis because we need motivation for Robert, who is third, and then Michael is the last one.
all right. Are you all keeping silent? Are you talking? You humming?
Well,
Anything like that?
at first it's silent because it sucks, but after a long enough time of starting walking around, Robert starts with one of these marine chanties. Da da
Okay.
da 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 da. And at first everybody ignores him. And then he like elbows Alexis and says, "Do it." And then she says it in the most tuneless android robotic voice possible. And that's hilarious enough
Not
for
programmed
Mark
for
and
singing, huh?
Michael that that makes us chuckle. So we get into it, and then we're all singing marine chanties.
All right.
Da, 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 da,
And
da.
this is under the duress of just a constant sound of water hitting and winds going and water and winds and chanting and the plop plop of mud. But apart from that, it's a quiet ambient sounds of jungle around you. And before you even realize it, you reach a cross section where the you see there's footprints in the mud which are kind of filling up because of the storm, but there is somebody has walked this path before you. You don't know how long or how old, and it continues forward towards the shape of a structure of a building ahead of you. And to the side, there is a fork in the trail where it looks like there's another path that will go forward and wrap around the back of the base. So you
Okay,
can try to approach the front door or the back door.
so the footprints are there boot prints or like
It looks like boots,
footprints with
yeah.
like okay, good, 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 good. That's good. That's good. That means the person wasn't barefoot. That means it's not a carcinid, right? That means it's a human. And in this horrible weather, they must be incredibly recent. If I can still see them, and if they are that recent, then my infrared goggles can detect their heat. It says allows the weather to see heat signatures sometimes several hours old. So in
Oh,
this
they're
pouring rain, yeah,
they're probably about a day or two.
ah, well, they lasted a day in the storm. That's interesting. I point that to everybody, and I say, look, footprints. Those footprints go to the front door, right?
Yes.
Is come on. There's another human here. This can be more than a day old, and everybody nods. And we want to see another human. We have a million questions to ask. So
All
we
right.
start following the footprints into the front door.
All right. So you are approaching Greta Base, which the first thing that hits you is you realize there's no lights. Everything is just absolutely black. Luckily, there's enough sun up in the sky and it's early enough in the AM before noon that you can see the shape of the building. The way that these buildings are put together is that they dropped it. It's kind of reminds me of the modular school buildings that they always had in the 90s to 2000s, where they just had like classrooms off to the side that were
Okay.
just almost mobile homes, but not. So they drop down these blocks that have rooms inside of them,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're double wide, sometimes they're just basically rooms that they drop down.
Yeah.
And then these automated robots will go out and connect hallways and get the systems up and working.
All right.
And it's an interconnected modular base with airlock systems so that you can drop onto any planet regardless of the atmosphere and have a base up and running within about 4 or 5 hours.
I appreciate the engineering. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, are we looking at a group of different disconnected buildings, or are we looking at a single complex where all the buildings are connected to one another?
It's from what you can tell from here in the visual and the schematics that you had on your little tablets when you were reading in your room before the adventure, there is essentially one main area, which is the commissary, and it splits off into a freezer area, a med bay, a command center, a garage, an armory, and a crew habitat.
Interesting. Well, we follow the footprints. Which one of them do the footprints lead to?
It leads right up to what would be the airlock. Rust has crept over the large metal door, which now is the entry into the building. It's
Okay.
made of a reinforced steel.
Okay, well, before do anything weird, I just check to see if it's open.
Problem is, the power's off. Everything's dark,
All right, I've
and
seen
because it has
enough.
a key card, it's locked. It means that you'd have to figure out how to pry this open.
Okay, so I remember Return of the Jedi when R2D2 was trying to open locks, right? Surely there is a little thing that I can hack into with my portable
Yeah, let's go
computer.
for it. Let's try it.
Portable computer terminal. So I just try to shield it from the rain. It's probably waterproof, but I do it anyway. And I open the little latch and just plug this and plug that, and then see
I'm
if
gonna
I
say
get a signal.
Alexis recognizing what's happening steps in the way and helps shield, just to make sure no rain falls on you.
Excellent. I appreciate that. Thank you. And meanwhile, Robert has his machine gun and he's just looking around. Right, the Teamster is just hanging around there, and then the Teamster says, maybe we could use that big crowbar of yours, boss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me try the digital way first, Michael. And I
All
tried
right.
the digital first.
So how's that? How's this roll gonna go? Let's take a look at this for you.
Yeah.
All right. So what skill are you using for this?
That would be hacking, artificial intelligence. I don't know.
I'll go with hacking
All
because
right.
it's not art. I don't think it's artificial intelligence.
All right, good.
So we're gonna try hacking, and that's gonna be a intellect roll with a plus 15.
All right, 53 plus 15 is going to be 68.
Or let me say you add 15 to the 53 and you try to roll under that.
Roll
So
under roll
68.
under 68, right?
Yep.
Roll under 68. Ah, barely.
Oh
62.
no.
62, I'm good.
It's still good. It's solid. All right.
I'm a professional. Thank
You
you,
are a
gentlemen.
professional. You keep things cold as ice. All right.
Yeah,
So you were able to plug into the door,
yeah,
and because you have your computer set up has its own external battery,
yeah,
it's just enough to power the lock
yeah.
to get it up and running and be able to just turn the lock on it. And so you're able to get the lock opened. You don't have a key card, but your hacking ability has allowed you to bypass into the admin and turn it off manually.
Excellent.
There's
Good.
you know key cards enough, you know that you're able to, they're on the side, there's an emergency switch which you pull, and in case of there's a power outage, you're able to then hack in and get it open. And so it clicks and it slides a bit and the door just kind of cracks open.
Perfect. Good job, R2D2.
All right.
It
So you
opens.
have it's cracked. Yeah, it opens.
Let's go. Let's go inside.
Right, you
And
step in. The floor here is muddy, and there are storage lockers along the walls of this airlock.
and Robert taps me on the shoulder and says, "Look, the footprints led here, right? And the door was locked. So that means what? The footprints we're following had their own little gizmo like you have, Draco." And I go,
Or
"That's a
they
good
were
point."
able to get in before the power went off.
Which is what Draco responds because he's very smart, right? And then Robert, "Oh yeah, I didn't think of that." But you said it was a day ago. And I says, "Maybe we're in luck. Maybe the power went off less than a day ago. Let's go." And then we just continue.
All right. You move forward into this small chamber. There is another door on the other side, and you know from your experience that you will have to shut this door to be able to open that door because of the pressurized
All right.
difference between airlocks.
And are we
Uh,
finally indoors, or we will be as soon as the exterior door locks.
yeah, if all of you want to come on in and shut the door behind you, then
Yeah.
you're inside of an airlock interior. There are lockers along the sides, and it looks like a few of them are open and don't have anything, and a few of them do have items in them.
All right. So as soon as the exterior door comes down, and we stop hearing the maddening sound of the storm, Alexis takes off her helmet, shakes her hair, purely just to get it on wet. But Robert stares at her, mesmerized. And
Ah,
uh, meanwhile, Michael is on top of the items, seeing what's valuable and what isn't. And in fact, he's looking for a little sack or bag or something to start looting stuff.
okay.
Yes.
There's a knapsack, so you can easily take that to throw things in.
So Michael
But
puts on the knapsack.
in one of the lockers is a unused hazmat suit.
Or Michael
Uh,
is like,
and
payday, boss.
in another locker, you find two magazines for a pulse rifle.
2 max pulse rifle.
Yep.
He
You're
pockets
just
the
you're
whole
just gonna
thing.
be you
And
pocket all of it. You can just be
Michael
carting
does.
around an extra suit.
Michael just puts it all. And then Robert
You should
says,
get a
but
little wheel cart so you could push it around.
and then Robert says, hey, don't you already have a suit? Now you're gonna have three? And then Michael says, you know how much these are worth, Robert?
I'm going into suit business.
And then Robert says,
Got
no, how
down to
much
my
are they worth? And then I said, it was rhetorical, boss. Hey, catch. And he throws the 2 magazines of pulse rifle. And then Robert catches them and says, too bad we don't have a pulse rifle. And puts them in
as
the.
you as he pulls out the ammo for the pulse rifles and goes to throw it, something clinks down to the ground that was between the magazines.
Uh, and then Alexis says, something has fallen to the ground as you threw the magazines. Just perfectly monotone voice. And we all turn to the floor to see what fell.
It's a rosary.
Draco picks it up. And
And
says,
you realize looking at it that it's got a few spots of blood on it. But other than that, it is just a prized rosary.
so Draco grabs the rosary and he looks at the blood and he says nothing. He doesn't want to panic his friends. And then he just pockets the rosary and then Michael says, hey, finders keepers, you too, huh? And then Draco says, yeah, sure. We'll know what the market value is. And then very discreetly, Draco goes to Robert and says, Robert, keep your gun ready. Be ready for anything.
Who of you would you say is the most apprehensive or the most alert?
Alert? Alert?
Yeah,
Well, that would be a high intellect, I presume.
your choice.
In that case, it's Draco. 53 intellect.
Draco, you're moving forward. You know, you're trying to get towards the other side of the airlock, and you stop and you look and you realize that the some of the open lockers, you close them and you realize that they're dented, like somebody hit the door so hard it dented inwards.
Uh,
And a couple down, you look at the door and you realize there's just this massive set of claw marks across it. So
okay.
something clawed, tore through the metal,
So when I see
flashing
that,
at it.
immediately the infrared goggles again. Like, shit. Is it still here?
You don't see anything here, and it doesn't look like these marks are recent, but whatever was through here had slashed through the metal.
So very discreetly, I pull into Robert, and without saying anything, I just elbow him lightly, and then I said, "Look there," and he goes, "What?" I said, "Claws, claw marks, bro, claw." And he goes, "Oh shit, it's like a big bear or something." Yeah, or something. Keep your rifle ready, and he keeps his rifle ready, and he's just looking around. And since there are no animals nearby, because my infrared would have told me that, I move forwards to the next lock, right?
Okay.
And I think there is an item Alexis has that allows her to see Oh crap! I must have hallucinated. I thought she had an item that allowed her to see through walls. She doesn't. Never mind. I'm wrong. So we don't have that item. Oh, cybernetic diagnostic scanner. Portable scans androids and cybernetic organisms.
Uh,
All right. So here's what I do. I walk to the other lock, the interior lock, and I
right.
plug in as I plugged in before.
All right.
The
Same thing.
difference is the difference is this time before I open the door, I want to power the security camera because surely there is one. Like who wouldn't? If you're gonna put a security camera somewhere, the inner log feels like the most obvious place to have it. So I assume it must exist, and I want to connect to it and turn it on as a low bar. Bonus would be recorded footage.
Okay. Before you got onto the ship, Moss was able to get a camcorder installed onto each of the hazmat suits.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is just reach down and turn it on,
No,
and
that's
you
good. We're all
can.
record. I get that. I assume that there is a camera installed in the building or right above the door because somebody in charge of opening and closing the doors wants to see who's knocking.
Right.
I so my goal is to see through that camera what is behind the door before I dumbly open it.
To see what behind the door?
I'm about to open a door that is gonna lead to the interior, right?
Right.
And and I cannot see through doors, not even with my infrared goggles. So it's perfectly possible that the moment that door opens and I go, "Yay, I did it again!" there is a clawed creature at the other side of that door waiting for us, and I know that clawed creatures exist. So
All right.
I want to
So
know
if
if
you
there
want
is
to
a
try to hack in to the computer system to what's the
the
you believe is
security camera. Yes, the security
security
camera
network.
above the door, just to see that nothing is waiting for us before I open the door.
Well, first of all, the power's off,
I
and
Yeah, I
so
can power the camera with my little battery, same as before.
you are able to power up into the camera, but the network itself is down.
Okay.
So I will give you, just to satisfy your curiosity here, that you are
Yeah.
able to get over to at least the other side of the door and
Okay.
see through that camera.
Okay.
However, I won't even make you make a hacking roll for it because the problem
Okay.
is that it is almost pitch black in there.
Crap. Fine, fine, but I don't see any movement other than white noise.
No,
So then I ask myself, what are my options, right? These either forward or backwards. And
I
as
will note that the camera feed is very staticky and very glitchy. It looks like disturbance of the storm or whatever's going on is disrupting even the camera feed.
fair enough, if the footprints led here, and they are not in the room, then there must be through the locked door. And if it was safe enough for the footprints a day ago, it's probably safe enough for us now. So I go ahead and open it.
All right,
Yeah.
just give me a hacking roll.
Okay. It's 53 plus 15, 68, under 68. Let's go. 13. Yeah.
All right, you
This
easily
is good at
get
what
the
it
lock
does.
open again. It slides open, the door cracks, and a terrible sort of smell comes forward. You do have the ability to smell in these suits.
So everybody puts their helmets back on with a serious face of concern.
There is, first of all, the stench that hits you is a stench of wetness, that mold that comes from liquid left over a period of time in a room that's
Yeah.
enclosed, a
Yeah.
musty smell.
Yeah.
There's hints of blood and decay.
Jesus. So now I'm starting to feel less hopeful about those footprints.
All right, you step forward, there's a door, and it leads into the commissary. Commissary is a wide open room that had several tables. It was where everybody would gather together and eat food and chat and spend their time when they were not working. It's a ransacked mess hall, a rec room sort of situation. There are lights that kind of flicker on and off.
Good.
The place is a mess though.
Yeah.
As lamp lights on the head
Yeah.
lamp lights,
Yeah.
illuminate the center. There is a banner across the top, and it reads "Happy Birthday, Olson." But
Okay.
part of it droops. It looks like it's been slashed in places. You can see that there are raindrops leaking from holes in the ceiling.
Yeah.
There are empty cups and dishware. There's broken glass across the floor. As you're scanning along, you see bullet casings, spent bullet casings. You see blood splatters.
Oh God.
There's bullet holes, which you realize that the places that are leaking in the roof are holes where the bullets have gone through the roof, and
Yeah.
that's how the water is getting in. And there are large claw gouges across the furniture. So the couches and chairs that were here, some of them have been shredded. There's stuffing of the cushion seats all over around them. And you turn slowly, your main character, your Draco, turns
Yeah.
slowly to the side of the airlock door,
Yeah.
and you see a hat rack, which is, the kind of rack you'd put your coats and your
Yeah.
hats on.
Yeah.
And next to a couple of raincoats, it looks like what you think is a wig.
Yeah.
And as you look closer at it, you realize there's a nose poking out of the hair.
Oh Jesus Christ. Uh, I back away. I don't need to see it any closer. I have enough context clues to know it's not a wig. And in fact, what I do is, without trying to look at it too much, like in fact, like turning away, I grab it and I throw it into a corner so nobody will see it, because I don't need anybody
Okay?
else panicking. But I'm
You
myself.
push
I'm
off.
trying to catch my breath. You know.
You shove away the hat rack into a further corner. There's a soft, sick thudding bounce as a decapitated head hits the floor and rolls off into something and is gone from sight. Better
And,
left unseen.
and Robert was, what was that? And I said, some old hat or something was in the rack. It doesn't matter. And and he probably knows I'm lying because he knows me well enough. Uh, so he goes like, "What do you really mean, Draco?" I said, "Look, what I really mean is we have to secure this door, and then we have to walk the perimeter of this place, make sure every other door is secure. Can you do that, soldier?" And he goes, "Of course I can, Draco." And then we very slowly start walking the perimeter after having closed the door behind us, looking for
All
any
right.
other entrances, doors, windows, anything we can close and secure. Secure the perimeter.
So, first things first, as you're doing this process,
Yeah.
in the silence of you all stop talking, there's a distant thump, thump,
Okay.
thump that sounds very much kind of like when an animal gets into the garbage and it's just kind of rustling around in the trash.
Oh
And
crap.
it's coming up to I'm gonna say the north west, which
Okay.
from your schematics is probably somewhere near the garage or the
Okay.
armory, one of those places.
So the
So
moment I hear the first stomp, down come the infrared glasses, and I want to see how big of an animal it is. I know that I saw
you don't
tiny ones
see
in the jungle.
anything. You don't see anything in the commissary.
Okay. So there is a wall or a door or something between me and the noise. Something
Yes, and
preventing
you
line of sight.
realize the construction and the ventilation systems means that sound travels through the compound very well, especially in the ragged condition it's been left. But
Yeah.
something ahead and to the side in one of the back rooms is making a soft occasional thump, thump.
Yeah. It's unnerving. It's absolutely unnerving. But if I cannot see it, that means we don't have line of sight. So then I turn to everyone and I go, shh. And then very quietly, we're going to walk the perimeter, making sure all the doors are closed. including the door that separates us from this noise emitting entity.
All right. So to the left hand side of the room, which would immediately go into a hallway that goes into the crew habitat or down to the garage and the armories over there as well. The door there has been barricaded. Couches, tables, chairs are shoved up and have formed a barricade to keep whatever was out there uh, out. So
So
that
something
door has been
in,
sealed.
in the habitat, somebody closed the door of the commissary and then barricaded against whatever is in the habitat.
Is off to that wing of the left wing,
Yeah. Well,
which is
good.
where the habitat and the garage goes.
They did the job for us. Thank you, dead strangers. You will be remembered fondly. So that's one less door to worry about. It's already barricaded. So very
Yes.
slowly and very silently, we continue just hugging the wall like rats, looking for any other door that we need to barricade and close as well.
So I'm going to throw into chat an image.
Yeah,
Just let me see if this works.
yeah.
There it goes. All right. So this is the personnel roster of who is in. I don't know how well you can see it because the image is kind of small.
A little bit. I can read it. Kaplan, platoon commander. Yeah, I see the people. I see who reports to who. It's an org chart.
All right. So that's going to be your kind of list, and we're going to mark that off as if you find anybody on that list alive or dead.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't. There is one head that rolls somewhere, but not interested in
Yeah,
IDing it right now.
not able to profile that yet.
Yeah.
So first things first, your flashlights lead across the middle of the floor, the main area,
Yeah.
and you realize that there is cake bits splattered. And when you get to the center, you realize the table that with the cake and the party was on for the birthday has been flipped over, and the cake smashed out from under it, and there's cake in all directions.
Unfortunate.
And as you're looking at the cake, you realize that there's a human arm that's coming out from under that table.
Jesus. Infrared glasses. If the person is alive, should have a heat signature.
Very cold, very cold.
Is dead. Is absolutely dead. So what I do now? Question. This is off character, not in character question. Would I recognize any of those people? Like, presumably, did they give me their photos in my little iPad, and I could match them
Yeah, you
against?
have a you have in the tablet they gave you, they have a profile pic for each individual that would work in this facility.
Got it. So then I turn to my team, and I say, guys, make sure the barricade is still secure. And
All right.
they go and they start looking at the barricade, and when they all have their backs turned to me, without them seeing me, without them seeing me, I follow the arm. Hopefully, it leads to a face of a very dead person, and I try
I
to
mean,
identify who that dead person is.
do you want to lift the table? Because you would have to do that.
Can I pull the arm instead?
Give me a strength roll.
Okay. Strength of Draco is 39.
Uh,
Yeah,
on a hundred side,
which
that's
is heavier, the table or the person?
well, just give me a strength roll. I'm going to tell you how this goes.
All right, just roll. Okay, here we go. So, boink. 31.
Did you get under?
I get under. My strength is 39.
Oh, impressive. You pull on the arm, it gives a little resistance, and there's a pop,
Yeah.
and you now have an arm.
No, I wanted a face. I want. So he disconnected from the body. Oh no.
you you pulled very well.
Oh crap.
Unfortunately, you're looking at it and you realize it's been like this for maybe months. It's so rotted that it has just popped right out.
Okay, then I don't want to see the face. I probably wouldn't recognize it either. Instead, I look for the name patch that is usually worn on the shoulder. Luckily, I have the
Uh,
whole arm.
so I'm just gonna cut ahead there and just say you're able to lift the table enough
Yeah.
to see the body and see dog tags.
Sure, dog tags works. I try to get him without looking at the face? I don't want to look at the
All
face.
right. Unfortunately, you catch just the briefest glimpse, and you don't have to worry about the face because there is no face. In fact, there's just a hole where the neck is,
Jesus.
and the chest is just bared open, kind of like how they split ribs open.
See, this
And
is why I wanted to read the name of the shoulder.
your brief glance, there's nothing inside where you would expect normal human organs.
So I try not to throw up and turn my face away very quickly. And then with
Okay.
the dog tags in one hand, I throw the arm back in there, and then I put the table back.
So I'm gonna tell you that when you lifted the arm up, you realized that this body and you saw them when the glance across the rest of the body has an endless series of small paper cuts across the arm.
Jesus.
Crisscross, random, almost like scratch marks all over, but as you're looking at it, it looks like the skin just sort of sliced open the way paper cuts do.
Jesus. I don't know what to make of that. It seems,
Um,
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
let,
I'm gonna say you're able to just kind of push it from you and just look at the dog tags and not focus on the horrible thing you saw.
yeah, and I put the table back to hide it from the others.
Good, good.
And
Um,
yeah,
it is a Lieutenant Corporal Xavier.
okay, let's find the guy.
Here's Xavier. He's
Say,
on
I see him. He
middle section, yeah.
does red mean dead?
No, red is the military, if I believe. Red's the military, green's yellow's the scientists, and green's the other section of the military.
Mission
They were basically
specialist.
three divisions.
All right, so this guy belongs to the soldiers. He was an APC driver of the Zigzag Squad, and he ended on under a birthday cake with his buddy, cut like origami. Uh,
Oh, okay, okay. So,
yeah,
red is Marines, and the yellow is the scientists, and or sorry, the blue is or
is the
green
blue.
is the scientist, and yellow is the Teamsters. Is the way I'm reading it.
Oh, yellow is the Teamsters.
Is it, or is it the opposite? I think green's the Teamsters.
Okay,
Anyway,
all right. Well, but that's what it means. So either one of those three, understood. So yeah, this guy was clearly a soldier because he reported into the platoon commander,
yep.
and now he's very dead, and that's really unfortunate. So I have enough information to give a report back. I know how they died. I still don't know why the communications are not going up, and I still haven't accomplished my objectives of restoring communication or finding any of the key people.
Okay.
So what I do is I just put the dog tags in my pocket, and I put the table back, and then I walk to the barricaded door, trying not to sound like I'm losing my breath. And I said, "So the door is closed, right?" And Robert goes like, "Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty firm shot, boss."
there is a bit of this room that we have not gone over. There is the fact that all the cabinets and storage bins are all empty and open. So there's various cabinets out here, but all of them have been cleared out.
Well, Michael is the
And
first one who finds that out. Like he
okay.
reports back, says, they already took all the good stuff, boss."
So there are two other doors in this room. The other one leads to a pantry. It says pantry across the door, which it's near there's a little kitchenette back there, and it leads to a door into the pantry. And then there is a main door directly across from the air. So to the left would go into the wing where the habitat is. To the right would go into the pantry, and directly ahead is the door that would go towards the command center.
So all right, so is habitat barricaded, pantry closed but we not barricaded, and straight ahead command center. And the thumping sound was coming from straight ahead command center.
Straight and to the left. So it'd be somewhere between the left door and the straight door.
So between Habitat and Command Center.
Yes.
All right. Well, that gives me a fair idea of where the creepies are. Uh, and I also know where not to go. So I said to the team, listen, guys, we don't want to know what that sound is yet. We're not ready. So let's just barricade this north door and go through the right one. The one that says pantry, boss? Yeah, that one. But let's barricade the north one first. Just grab some stuff. Don't grab the table at the center. It's very messy. It has cake on it. And so they grab other stuff, and we start to barricade the north door.
All right. You spend a good 10 minutes or whatever just putting furniture forward and getting the north door barricaded.
Okay,
You feel satisfied with your job. You're able to get it as well as you can.
fair enough.
And that leads you one door out of the room right now.
So it's time to go through the pantry door. So, or the door that has that sign that says pantry.
Yep.
So I take a deep breath, and I cracked it open just enough for me to be able to peek through the little crack in the door with my infrared goggles. Best purchase I've ever made.
You look into the pantry, and it is a small, normal size pantry. And there is a set of different shelves on the sides, which normally would have contained stocks for them to be there for months. And it looks like it has all been completely emptied. It's all bare. All the contents are removed, and has been divided into a large pile of MREs on the floor. So in the middle of the room, there is a stack of MREs that have been piled up.
Okay.
And as you're looking at the MREs and you look with your lights or your infrared, you're not seeing heat, but you realize that there is a slumped over body at the back towards the door leading past this.
Okay, so there's two doors in the pantry. The one we just came in, and then the other one where the body is.
Right. So you straight ahead and to the left, there's a door that says freezer on it.
Freezer, and that's where the body is. That's where the
It's
dead
it's
body
a
is.
kind of between the door and the MRE pile. It looks like he was up against the wall trying to stay out of both doors, and he had piled a bunch of MREs together.
All right, so I don't think I can hide this one. And I say, hey guys, looks like that one, he didn't make it. And now they are all looking at the dead body because I don't know where I would hide it, and it's too big of a dead body, and we need the MREs, so I need to point him out.
All
And
right.
then
I'm gonna
Alexis,
say that.
which is
Oh,
completely unfeeling, she says, "But at least there are MREs for you, organics." And
I am going to see that your Teamster and your Marine are gonna make a fear save.
yeah, sure, okay, here we go. So the Marine needs to roll under 51. So he's seen dead bodies before. He's a Marine. Uh, surely. Let's see. Roll 1d100. Come on, Robert, don't chicken out on me, son. Yeah, he's seen dead bodies before. He's good.
All right.
Robert is like, yeah, he didn't make it. That's what happens. And now the Teamster, he's a shady character who's been with the mafia and stuff. And he needed to roll under Michael Summers. He needed to roll under 30. So he got a 43, so that's a failure.
All
That's a
right. He
failure for
gains
him.
a point of stress, and he's a little unnerved.
He starts to hyperventilate a little bit and says
Oh,
like,
I
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure that the three of you, oh, well, I guess four, I don't know how smart the android is really, but
not
the
really,
three
yeah.
of you kind of deep down had an expectation you were going to be finding a lot of bodies here.
Yeah, yeah,
So
fair
it's not
enough.
a surprise. But there is a set of dog tags on the body.
So I said, hey, Michael, why don't you start putting the MREs in your little backpack? I just wanted to distract him. I'm giving him busy work.
All
And I
right.
don't want him to see the body. So while Michael is just putting the MREs in the backpack, I go to Alexis and say, hey, Alexis, what do you think this guy died of? Because I know that she's the least scared of them. So she approaches and makes a clinical analysis, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna have to either give me a scientist or medical roll.
Okay, crap. I thought she had. See, I keep imagining things. Why do I thought I have two scanners? I definitely don't. Viking patch, short range comms. Damn it.
Oh, you thought you had a one of the characters had a bioscanner?
I thought one of them had a bioscanner, but I was clearly hallucinating. All right, so no, if someone needs to make a scientist role, then I'm gonna make it, not Alexis. So the scientist role. Well, I don't have science, so it's just purely intellect, I guess.
Well, it's gonna be intellect, but you don't have biology or
I don't.
medical. You don't have medical skills
I'm
either.
a hacker. Yeah, nobody has medical skills.
Any of them have medical skills?
None of them.
Well, that's good to know. All right, just give me intellect.
All right, so intellect for me is 53. So see, let's see if I can figure what did the guy die of, and it must be something really obscure that's not obvious, like he doesn't have a head. Then I know what he died of, right?
Right.
So 72. I don't know what he died of, but at least he has a head.
So, first of all, the person's you're able to get the dog tags. I'll give you that to you first.
Yeah,
You have a second lieutenant Lang, Lange.
Lange. I see him the pilot. Oh no, there's no bueno. Uh,
Okay.
Lange dead.
And the thing you really notice about the body is that they're emaciated.
Wash your hands. Wash your teeth.
Oh, but then
And
why didn't
you just
he
have
eat the
this like
MREs though?
weird sort of feeling they starved to death, and that's the only thing you can properly kind of put in your head when looking at this body.
So that
And
tells
that's when
me,
you realize
yeah.
you see the same small paper cuts crisscross all over the exposed flesh, all up and down the face, across the arms.
I have no idea what to make of the paper cuts. It's probably the biggest puzzle so far. Really no clue. But the second thing that's puzzling me is why didn't he eat the MREs?
It's a good
And the
question.
third thing I'm thinking is anybody who has time to die of hunger didn't die of violence, which means this room is probably safe-ish, I guess. Right? So having realized all of that, then I go to Robert and say, "Hey, Robert, why don't you get the body out of here? We might need this room." And he says, "Where? Where do you want me to put it?" He says, "Just put him in the center of the other room, like near the cake." I goes, "All right, I got it." And he just picks it up and starts lugging it over to the other room, dump it on the
I'd
cake.
like to imagine you just grab the shoes and drag.
Yeah, sure. She just drags him around.
That way you have the least interaction with the actual body.
Yeah, that's probably what Robert would do. And then I still puzzled that why did he die of hunger when he had MREs? I just look at one of the MREs, like, is there anything wrong with him? Does it look in normal condition?
Can't quite tell. You don't have the equipment or the medical knowledge.
I shrug
At the end of
and
this room is a door that says freezer, and it is a solid door with a lock on it.
now this is a off character question, Sean. Do people in this world use cell phones like we do in our world? Like, is the guy carrying a cell phone and can I go through his emails and like something
I
like that?
would imagine that the planet side, inside of cities and civilizations, cell phones are still used as a commercial, sort of traditional civilian product,
Yeah.
but that they don't set up cell towers out on remote terraformed planets.
So this guy doesn't have a portable computer, which is what a cell phone is, right? He
Right.
doesn't have anything that I could port through and find data from.
No. However, you do kind of get the comprehension that if you have a bunch of Marines here, that
Yeah.
the Marines would not carry their personal devices like that unless it
Sure.
was issued as a part of their kit for use in
OPSEC.
their job, and
Yeah.
that somewhere in here, likely to the left wing over there behind the barricade where the crew habitat is, will be a bunker where all their barracks have their personal items.
That's probably where they have their mementos. Understood. By the way, I gave myself 1 point of stress for the failure to determine cause of death. I'm at 4 now.
Good, good.
Understood. Okay. All right. Well, then that's that. So, knowing that this guy was safe enough to die of hunger, unless the crisscross marks mean anything, I have no choice. In fact, I only have two choices: main command center door, which we just barricaded, or freezer door, which we haven't. So, I choose door number two, and very gently open the freezer door just a crack, peek with the infrared, then open all the way.
All right. So you will have to try to get it open either with the crowbar or try to get it, see if you can get the electronic locks to disengage.
I'll try the electronics locks first. It's worked 2 times previously, so
Hey,
surely it will.
it's what you're here for.
Yeah, surely. I mean, this. Let's use the only tech that still works, even if it's just doors. I need to roll on there at 68. So roll 1d100. 29. Yeah,
All right.
I'm good at opening doors.
Okay, good, good. You're able to click it open. It slides open, the locks disengage. A blast of just freezing air issues out of it. It's about negative 40 centigrade in there.
Okay,
And as you look in, you don't see heat because I mean it's absolutely frosted inside.
of course, makes sense.
And at the back there is a corpse
Oh Jesus.
with a medical case that they're holding.
All right, I
You
yes.
investigate, shine your lights on it.
I step forward. By the way, it's a freezer. Is there frozen food anywhere in the freezer?
It looks like there's some sort of frozen deep freeze backup, not MREs, but sort of like meal packs that are stuffed over to the side.
Good.
And there's a section that looks like it had meat, but all the meat is gone.
All right, so there are meal packs and MREs, and we have a water purifier. So we'll probably survive for 7 days until his name, whatever his name is, come back. I wrote it down. All right, so thinking that at least it's a silver lining, I hesitantly step forward, looking for two things. Number one, does he have the crisscross marks too? And number two, can I grab the dog tags?
All right. So first and foremost, it is a Marine.
Yeah.
So they are wearing a tinfoil hat, which they have put onto their head. Uh, and they are pretty much frozen solid. See a pair of dog tags around the chest.
Yeah.
Those dog tags read Lieutenant Corporal Resnick.
All right, let me find him. I see him. Fire team number 1, 6 X squad. Poor guy. All right, Resnick dead. Got it.
Okay.
Resnick
And
dead.
well as that information, he is clutching to his chest in his hand a plastic vacuum tumbler, which is a vacuum tumbler used to keep stuff safe from the environment.
A vacuum like he's okay. So there is something valuable inside the tumbler. That's
Yep. He was clutching in his hand to his chest this tumbler. Next to him, actually on the floor, is a medical case.
all right. No crisscross marks on says Resnick.
You're looking at him and you don't really see any crisscross marks on his skin.
Interesting.
He instead just froze to death.
Interesting. All right. Well, if I can, I close his eyes, which I immediately regret as the eyelids break off, and then I just cover it with a hat instead. And sorry, Lieutenant. And then I grab the tumbler, right, and index finger breaks off. I just
Yeah, it says right here, if tumbler is taken, the fingers snap off. So,
yeah,
you pull the tumbler and it comes with fingers still clenched to it, but the hand does not come with it. I want you
Jesus.
to make a fear save.
Jesus. Crap. Yeah, okay, well, I walked into it. It's 23, so here's my roll. Not that, not that. This. Roll 1d100. 24!
Ah,
24, it was a
just
23.
it's just barely enough to sort of unnerve you. You'll take a fear point.
Okay, where do I capture that? You mean stress point? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
sorry, stress point.
Got
My
it. Yeah,
apologies.
I'm giving myself a 5. That's unfortunate. Yeah, well,
All right.
this is not what an IT guy expects to find.
You
So
you to avoid looking at it, you look up and you realize there's a vent in the ceiling. And from your memory of the schematics of this place, that
yeah,
vent leads over towards the med bay.
gonna have to go through there. Now that before we start crawling the bands like Bishop, I want to investigate a little bit that tumbler. Does it have a label?
All right.
Does it have a
What
markings?
about the medical case on the ground?
I'll get to that too. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
investigate that. Yeah.
I would probably suggest that you remove yourself from the freezer before exploring these items.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very cold. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I go back to them, and the team like asked me what's up, and I said it's another dead guy, but he was holding on to this, and I just put it on a small thing there, just table. Yeah. Look at
All
it.
right, the tumbler opens up easily,
Yeah.
and inside of it is a kind of the what's that rubbing like rubbing alcohol? You know the brown bottles that rubbing alcohol come in.
I know them. Yes.
It's a brown bottle that is kind of blank, and then on the side of it it has a little label that reads hydrofluoric acid.
Okay. I might be a scientist, so I sort of know that. I know what that is. So I put it back in the tumbler, and then I close the tumbler again, and then I give the tumbler to our pack mule, Michael, and I say, "Don't open it. It's acid." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Throws it in the backpack. Take a breath. Turns to the medical kit. At least I hope there's good news in there. So I open the medical kit, hoping it's not that severe human head or something.
It contains a cold interior. It's meant to preserve and keep things cold inside of it. And so when
Okay.
you crack it open, there's just this hiss of frosty vapor that leaps up into the air.
Okay.
And you find inside of it a set of various, I'm believing this is 25 liters. That doesn't seem right.
That's a
But
milliliters maybe.
it's a set of bottles which are chemo, chemotherapeutic agents.
Okay, hemo is means blood, so these will probably stop some bleeding.
Any of your characters have science of any degree
I'm
or
a
medical skills
scientist,
of any degree?
no medical skills. I'm a scientist, but
I you
you
you can
want to
try a
call it?
raw intellect if you would like.
Sure, fine. 53. 53. Here we go. 32. Yeah, he remembers high school biology.
All right.
Yeah.
You're looking at what you found here. Hydrofluoric acid melts things. It's very good at breaking down organic structures.
Yeah.
So if you splash this on something, it would cause it to essentially break down and melt.
It'll probably hurt a
Uh,
lot.
the
Yeah.
the chemicals you've just gotten from the kit are what you would usually give to people for extreme radiation damage. So it is an anti-radiation treatment.
Interesting. All right. So I remember that. That comes back to my head. And once again, I give it to the pack mule. And I said, I don't think radiation is our biggest problem here. But if it is, at least we have these doses. Stuffs it in. And then I turned to the team and I said, okay, team, here's the situation. We can go through the main command door that we just barricaded, or we can go through the ventilation tunnels on top of the freezer. Should we take a boat? And the android says, well, it would be inefficient to undo our barricading work. Whereas, so if we go through the vents, at least we'll explore new ground. And then Robert doesn't want to feel
You
like a pussy, so he says, "Yeah, there's no problem with the vents. I'm not afraid of
you're
that."
kind of looking at the vents and you realize that to get into the vents, you would have to get out of your hazmat suit.
Yeah, because we don't fit right through the hazmat suit.
It's such a small ventilation system that you would have to squeeze yourself through without a suit on.
Then Michael says, "Nah, bros, I'm not leaving the hazmat suit. We find. You know how much this cost? It's 4,000. You crazy? Nah, I'll just undo the barricades. I tear stuff down all day, every day. I bought main door,
All
and
right.
so now we have two in favor of the vents and one in favor of the main door. And I'm thinking like, all right, Michael, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send Alexis through the vents, and we're all gonna wait for her here. And then Robert goes, "What? Send her alone?" And I said, "Listen, Robert, she doesn't need a vac suit because she doesn't breathe, and she's
Right.
the thinnest one of us, so she can go through the vents no problem. And she has long communication range, so there's no way she's gonna be out of communication. We're gonna hear her the whole time. You don't mind, do you, Alexis?" And I says, "Of course not. It's the most logical solution." I said, "So don't worry about it, Robert. If she gets in trouble, you'll go second. How about that?" And then Robert gets like he doesn't like it at all, but he admits it. And then Michael is happy because he doesn't have to drop his loot. And then Alexis starts getting off of her back suit in order to
All
go
right.
through the vents.
So she drops the suit to the side here in the pantry.
Yeah,
She'll be able to enter the freezer.
she doesn't mind the
Uh,
cold. Robots, in fact, computers like cold.
she's able to get footing on the shelving inside of the freezer,
Yeah,
just enough for her to get up to the vent and crawl herself in.
yeah.
It's probably a good 10 feet of trying to worm her way through this ventilation, but she is able to get to the end over to the other vent, looking down into a small room that is the medical area.
The entire time, Robert is like, "Are you okay? Are you still okay? Do you see anything bad? Is that a problem?" Uh,
After
yeah.
about 5 or 6 feet, it's just static.
Long communication range.
Your short comms on the headsets will not pierce through whatever this anti-blocking stuff is. Something
Okay,
is just to give you a heads up, something is putting out a comms block signal. It's a
so
suppression.
the moment that happens, Robert says, "I'm going in," and I said, "Okay, all right, Robert, that's actually smart, because if you get close enough for her comes to work, you'll be close enough for my comes to work, and the three of them will be able to
Just
talk each
chain
other.
them off.
You'll
What is
just
he
be
gonna
the
climb up there too?
you'll just be the middleman." And Robert says, "Yeah, yeah, whatever, yeah, I'm going." And he drops the hazmat suit and starts crawling and starts scrolling. "Alexis, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
All right.
Can you hear
You
me?"
have to get about halfway down between the freezer and the med bay, and you're able to get enough range to pull up a distinguishable amount of communication with Alexis.
Fair enough. So finally she responds, "Yes, Robert, for the 10th time. Yes, you haven't been hearing me?" And Robert says, "No, baby, I was not hearing you. What do you see?" What does she see?
So she's crawled up to a grate, and below her there's a medical area that was an operating room. And she could kind of see down there the observation and analysis labs separated by glass walls. And the immediate area goes into a small area with the immediate room that drops down from the ventilation grate leads to a small room with computer terminals on the side and piles of loose paperwork and a logbook.
Damn.
And there's a large window, or sorry, glass wall that separates into a smaller section of the room that has other equipment in it, but it's kind of hard to see from this point.
Okay. So then Robert asks her, "Listen, if you go down there, Do you think you could easily get back up?
Seems
The-
reasonable.
And she said, yeah, yeah, I think I could, Robert. Okay, do you see anything moving or any creatures? She probably goes,
Nope,
nope.
nothing
Okay.
in here.
He says, okay, baby, you could go down, but don't go too far from the vent, okay? And she says, sure. It's not, doesn't. And she starts to go down into the room. And now she probably has a better view.
Able to drop down very easily. There's nothing of motion in here, nothing of distress. Looking through the glass, you see the other side of the lab has been just completely trashed. There's a bunch of areas are smashed, or it looks like things have been fused together by some sort of glue material. It's hard to tell from this angle what you're looking at, but some of the objects have been fused together, and other objects have been smashed.
So Draco tells Robert, tell Alexis to make sure the doors are closed. Is it safe in there? Are there any openings? And then Robert
Yeah,
relays
you
that to Alexis.
there's a door to the hallway back to that would just lead right around the corner back to the commissary, and that door is locked right now.
Okay, so she says, yes, everything is locked. And then I looked to Michael and said, okay, Michael, listen, I don't want to leave your backpack either or the suits or anything, all right? We're going to bring them with us. You just can't wear them, right? So take them off, roll them into a little bunch, and we're going to push them through the vents. And then once we get through the other side, you can put it back on if you want.
All right, so
And
you're
then he
just
goes,
gonna make a chain gang of this and have everybody like help the suits up and get each other up into the vent.
that's the chain gang, yes. And we pass all our little things through the vent, one little package at a time.
All right, I mean
Yeah.
it takes a period of time and it's kind of uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
you are able to do it. It's rather uneventful. Hand
Yes.
objects to each other, one with the other. You each crawl through the vent. You're able to get to the farther vent and drop on down. And if you want, I'll even give you a few minutes to put even your suits back
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. We put everything back on. Now we made it through the other side and we still have our loot. So Michael goes,
Yep.
good thinking, boss. You don't leave good stuff behind. And I'm like, yeah, and I don't want to be in that place anyway. Furthermore,
All right.
this is where we can complete our mission. And I head to the nearest computer because I think you mentioned there were a few. And I immediately going to start hacking into it and just trying to learn stuff.
All right. So from the computers are powered down, so you have to kind of like try to power them from your power source in your computer thing.
Yeah, same
See if
thing.
you can get them up and running, which
Yeah,
is kind of a very frustrating affair to do.
yeah.
But there's also like actual handwritten notes.
Ah,
So there's some paper handwritten notes here, and you're able to pour through a lot of this material. And what you get out of this is that these are notes compiled by Dr. Eden, which is the one person that you're here to collect if you can.
okay.
And his notes talk about there are entries about these creatures that had been discovered and had been originally killed, and then they found more of them, and they took a sample creature of a larval stage of one of these alien creatures,
Yeah,
and there's these notes about a discovery of something that's called the Krebslieder, which is the crab song,
you're gonna have to type
translated from
that.
German.
Okay.
Kreb or Krebs, Krebslieder.
Jesus.
Which,
Okay.
so
Sure. Okay.
let me put that into the translator.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is German.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
And the notes are just specify that this is a shrill type of high pitched shriek that the carcinid aliens use in order to replicate.
Replicate, like reproduce.
you're not sure.
Damn.
It doesn't exactly give you further information,
Mating call.
but that
Okay.
is what is noted down in the books.
Damn. All right. Well, that's interesting. And so we're gonna put all those notes in our little
Huh?
wood backpack, right? We're gonna bring everything. And
Reading through it, you
yeah,
also find notes specifying that Edom has begrudgingly admitted, much to his like, I don't really want to give him credit, but I must give credit for the android Hinton has done much of the legwork, but it was my discovery of the crab song of putting two and two together that helped us make the final breakthrough.
interesting. Eden gives credit to Android for work, but takes credit for discover. Did he call it the crab song?
Yep,
Discovering the crab song. That was a breakthrough.
yep.
That was a breakthrough.
He he just the phrase he writes down is that led to the final breakthrough. And then they kind of stopped writing notes after that point.
Interesting. Led to final breakthrough. Interesting. All right. Sean, my family is calling me. I thought it was gonna be
Huh?
3 hours. We're almost down to four because it's so cool, and I love it so much. We're gonna do this again next Wednesday, my friend.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So
Wait till you find out the secrets.
I'm gonna find out the secret. This is so. This is so much better. It's like aliens, but better. Because I mean, I love it. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna upload the whole thing to YouTube, and then I'm gonna
All right.
send you the link, and then you can give that link to anyone. Like, here's what we're
Yay.
doing. Are you interested? And then they'll watch it, and we'll have
I
someone to
didn't
join
put
us.
on the presentation. I don't have the sound effects.
Yeah, no, that's
Um,
perfect.
so I'm gonna let you know there's only a couple rooms. There is not much to encounter here. Mostly it's a lead up type of information, like a prologue, if you would.
Good,
But
good.
after you leave the base, there's the terraforming station has four locations to it. It has a major hub that you end up at, and there's
Yeah.
three different adventures that you can go on from the main hub. And
Okay.
then after that is the secret, top secret in-game area, which I will not
Oh my
describe yet.
god. I just hope we live because I
We'll see.
care about all these characters. So if someone joins us, they're gonna take over one of these characters.
I mean, you. In addition, it's up to you how you want to play this,
That
but
would be cool. That would be cool. Or like though, egoistically thinking, we need more meat for the grinders. So if they
yeah, I
can,
was gonna say there's a chance that at least these will be the people hit first when death comes.
that would be. Don't say that people watching in YouTube. Just join us anyway. You'll be fine. All right, Sean. Thank you so much, sir. This was all kinds of awesome. I'm gonna stop the recording, and I'll put this thing in YouTube, sir.
It was a pleasure as always. I thank you very much for joining.